Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Black Sensei Society. We are back at it, episode number 43. And we did say that after we talked about the ending of My Hero Academia, we were going to have a full podcast episode breaking down My Hero Academia in its entirety. Where does it rank all time? All those good conversations. And we have an excellent guest to join us with us to talk about My Hero Academia and Mangavation. Of course, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Hello, I'm Wise. For those of you who know me, I've been talking about My Hero Academia for since 2018, I guess officially. 2019, 2020 is kind of where my peak was, and I'm here for everything that we are talking about today, especially that Todoroki background. You know what I'm saying? Because that's he really here. I'm interested to see a lot of the topics because I was watching a previous stream, and you guys have very interesting takes. Very interesting takes, and I'm curious to know. But so I appreciate y'all for welcoming me, and we here.
All right, bet. Yeah, it can get a little bit nasty. We'll see if it happens
Very
again.
nasty.
But with that said,
Oh, it's gonna get nasty. It's gonna get nasty today.
it's probably gonna get. We'll see. Of course, we want to shout out our members: Creative Bobby, Jaden, Sauce, Dan Young, Solo Boss, Kent, Trendy, Char, Leon. Appreciate everybody who supported the channel. We just keep on trying to grind this content, do more things in the future, of course. And if you guys want to join, do events with us, or just chat with us on a consistent basis, you can go to our link tree. We have all our social medias and our Discord in there where you guys can join. Very easy. We have a lot of conversations in there, and we ask some of your feedback so you guys can get featured on future content, of course. So other than Wise, as he introduced himself, how are the rest of y'all doing? How y'all feeling?
Good. Random was over by my area this past weekend. We turned up. We turned up with some of my friends. We went to a Future concert. If you saw us in DC, you didn't see us, especially Random because he was crashing out. But
I need to apologize to the people of Costas. I didn't mean to do that to your establishment.
Hey, I didn't think he was gonna puke the first night, but hey, he puked the first night. So, but I don't know. It was a good time. It was a great time. We turned up, had a lot of laughs. So, yeah, it was fun.
Good. It was fun. I'd love to come by again. This time, do the whole touristy thing with DC. But we had plans. We had plans while I was there.
Yeah, we've been seeing some images. Is anybody going to show any fun images for the stream at all?
Phone images.
Nah, that first image, Lonnie hold me because he tried to make it seem like he did it when he had nothing a part of it. Your boy was just tired. Don't lie to the people, Lonnie. I'm not saying the picture's not wrong, but don't lie like you caused it. You did nothing.
One thing I learned about Random is that he can fall asleep at any moment, at any time, at any moment.
He's so real for that.
Like mid conversation, he'll just be snoring in the middle of the Uber. Just snoring his ass off. He literally asked the Uber, "Hey, can you stop to McDonald's or something?" And then 2 seconds later, he's just snoring.
Well, the guy said no. He said no. What do you want me to do? He said no.
Not fall asleep in 0.5 seconds.
He said no. My job was done. I passed out.
Oh, God.
What do you want me to do? Stay awake? I was tired. I was hungry. He said no. Your boy kept it moving.
I'm also really sad about the JJK news. I'll probably get into Agenda Hour, but it's been a weird anime and manga past few weeks. It's just been, I don't know, a lot of transitions.
No, for sure. Unfortunately, Miles is not here for him to say, Riddell, you're right. I mean, per usual, right? We had a poll, and who has more aura, Zoro or Luffy? Zoro won the poll. So Miles is supposed to come on here and wear a do-rag. So in due time, he'll come on here.
Should have told him a bonnet. Should have told him a bonnet.
They don't know ball, and that's okay.
They don't know ball. Now they don't know ball. Okay.
They don't know ball.
I'll say this about.
We said that they won't know ball if they pick the world. They don't know ball.
I'll say this about the Zoro and Luffy debate. See, because I get both your points of like on who has more aura. When it comes to like the highest moments, it's Luffy. But when you first look at Luffy, like, he's not like an aura type character in the group. He's not like not that he doesn't have like the best aura moments in the show, or like some of them, but like because he has like the ones like where he punches the Celestial, he crocodile, kind of like he has so many to count. He probably has more than Zoro, but when it comes to like consistency, like usually like when everyone pulls up on the Straw Hats, Zoro's like just doing like some standoff like aura type thing. Like he's just a natural like cool guy in the group. That's why people probably go for Zoro, because consistently he's just a cool guy in the group. And he has his big moments too, but not maybe as high as Luffy sometimes. Luffy peaks, but Zoro's just a cool guy in the group. That's why he probably won.
I feel like aura is more than that to me. I don't think it's strictly just who's the coldest. Like for example, I don't think that Luffy putting the hat on Nami was like cold, but that shit had aura.
No, I get that.
Like
but some people do about the coldest.
You know what I'm saying? That to me was, it's not like that was cold per se, but it was like a moment that it moved me. I was like, that was aura. Like that was aura.
I mean, nonetheless, the only point I was making is that people were going to vote Zoro, and they did. So Ty, lock in. How about that? Lock in. All right.
Oh, what about the Team Villains versus Team Heroes poll?
Oh yeah, forgot to announce that. Yeah, Team Villains completely won. Pretty
should have
60. I think it was like 67 to 33, something like that.
You know, as a team, we'll do better next time. As a team, you know, it's
Y'all
not
really
about one guy.
It's
about all of us together. Now, some people maybe lack more than others, but that's not really relevant here. I think it's about us picking ourselves up from our bootstraps and then just working together. So.
See, I'm just thinking that they're just throwing shots at Riddell. I don't know.
I didn't say anything about Riddell.
Like that was all shots towards Riddell.
I didn't say anything about Riddell.
I mean,
I know he didn't say anything about Riddell, but that was clearly directed towards Riddell.
I think about Riddell.
I mean, I've already been proven right, so I don't know how I'm getting shots. But
nobody said a shot at you, Riddell.
I'm not even saying you. I'm just
I'm saying you said that. I know. I just want you to know that no one's sending a shot at you, Riddell.
You heard it from Santo.
Exactly.
I mean,
wait. I won't say anyone fumbled. That's not important here. But
I mean, not choosing Sinbad and the aura thing is like
I said
crazy.
Sinbad. Nobody wanted him. But with that said, Santo, you can be on the wrong side of history too. That's fine. The only thing that matters is that next week, King Lion will come onto the show, and we will have another draft. I don't know. Are we going to go Aura again? So Aura anime versus Aura
I think we have to go Aura, because if we use powers, he's going to be pulling some shit out his ass.
No.
He has a lot.
He has a lot to answer for. First of all, let me put my camera on. He has a lot to answer for. My boy.
About what?
Oh, and I've been doing research. About
comics. About first things first. King Lion. I need you to explain to me.
Just save the ammo when he shows up.
All I'm gonna say, I'm gonna need you to explain to me what the hell's going on with Spider-Man right now and try to justify that.
I'm not even talking about that, because big thing that he said, because when we said what's more popular, anime or comics, and he said comics,
he started capping. That's what
he started bringing up how they're more popular on Twitter somehow. Yeah. So there was a article today about like the number. Do you know what the number 5th most popular Twitter account is? It's a JJK. It's a JJK leak.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't see no comics in the top 15, top 20, top 30. I don't see no comic leaks up there. But top 5 is anime. But you
can just do sale. I think the biggest thing we should focus on is sales in the West. When it comes to sales, it's not even close.
You don't want to do that. He does not want to do that.
Well, let's go to numbers. Listen, we gotta have the numbers ready. Say, okay, this manga, all the comics,
Twitter ready.
This much in America, because we don't want to do worldwide. Obviously, manga sells more worldwide, but we just focus on North America, and I think it's gonna look real nasty.
When he said that leaked image of the new Superman trended, and I'm like, Gojo died months ago. He's still trending. He's still trending. We did a whole stream when we thought he was back, Lonnie. And he was trending then. And he's still trending now. Like, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Superman don't move people like Gojo does anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The people in America have spoken, sir. And that's just wise. Sorry, I don't want. And that's just JJK. We don't want to talk about My Hero. We don't want to talk about other ones. That's One just Piece. JJK. Goku, I was looking at our BSS. Goku was just trending randomly. Ain't no Superman No Batman, no nothing. Goku was just trending. It wasn't even like he was doing anything special. It was just pictures of him, and he was trending.
Okay, save all this ammunition, this grade A ammunition to when King Lion comes on the pod next week, and we shouldn't lose. I feel like how we should do it is either talk with Lion, and kind of figure out if he wants to do it a different way, or it's the BSS versus Lion. I feel like Lion would want it for him to be solo dolo because it really is comics versus anime. So we really shouldn't be splitting up to go up against Lion in this situation.
Nice
You better get some help. You better get some help.
So hey, maybe we will ask him because we only can have 10 people up here. So that's like us 3, J-Rob, Ty, Miles. Hey, Lion, you can bring 3 other people to join the comic book side as we do the draft. I feel like
Ty, tell him if you don't bring help, it's gonna be belt to ass for like a good 2 hours. Belt to ass. Tell him I said that shit.
Now let's keep it a stack. J-Rob gonna defect. He's gonna defect.
I was like, he
can get whooped with him. He can get whooped with him, random. He can get whooped with him.
if J-Rob defects, then that's
then it's up. Then it's up.
Then if J-Rob defects, he can no longer talk bad about Itachi.
Yeah, because you keep going against his family. He going against his family.
Hey man, we talking ish. But hey, that's for a future episode. That one should be good. We're here to talk My Hero Academia. We're just having fun, of course. To start it out, per usual, we love to kind of inform you what's going on. So let's start it off with the BSS news.
For the BSS news, I actually want to dedicate most of this segment to this new announcement. Obviously, even past the Jujutsu Kaisen 8 and 5 chapters, Shueisha is announcing a Next Generation Battle Manga Award competition, right? Essentially, that means that anyone who's producing a battle manga, doing one-shots, anything like that, you can submit your one-shot to this competition. The judges are Kubo for Bleach, Horikoshi for My Hero, Tabata for Black Clover, Gege Gatami for Jujutsu Kaisen. I think this is so big because I've been talking about this for a while about how big manga is becoming worldwide. Like all these worldwide competitions that are happening. Obviously, the Viz one-shot program. So I would recommend to anyone who is making manga. I know I'm about to submit my one-shot version. I implore you guys to submit, get your stuff out there, and you never know what could happen. Like you could, they're trying to find the next big hit. Obviously, My Hero Academia ending, JJK is about to end. These stories are passing. They're trying to find the next big story and find new talent. So you just never know. So if anyone is out there in the BSS community that is making a manga, making a one shot, I highly recommend you submit to this contest, and also the Viz Media one shot program, or just content in general. They typically have a lot of worldwide contests, but 100% submit. 100%. I will get you guys things like this is another thing that can go for the manga, the anime manga side. Worldwide competitions, millions of people submit to these. This just shows how big manga is. It's crazy.
That's huge to me. You got, and it's not like they're just picking random people. You got some of the best or the most notable to judge this thing. So it's. I'll say this. Obviously, I've never read Bleach or I've never read Bleach. I've read Black Clover. But if I'm making something and I know Kubo and Tabata are about to read it, you about to see some A1 people throw really good stuff out there. And Ty, go ahead and submit that one shot, bro. Tell me what we need to do support.
I got a one-shot version. I've corrected so many things. And also a fun fact, this is how Fujimoto got on the scene. He was winning a bunch of contests like this. That's why Fujimoto ended up doing Fire Punch Chainsaw. I'm like, this is how Fujimoto became known in the manga industry through these contests. So literally, these contests produce some of the best talent of the next generation typically. So,
I'm gassed. Would it be possible for us to see? Would they? Obviously, they're going to pick a winner. Would we see maybe some honorable mentions or anything like that, or anything like that comes out? Because I would like to see, especially with everything. God, everything's ending. Even on the what do you call it? On the slice of life side, a lot of big names are ending. So there's a really big, at least from what I read, there's a big gap right now in terms of me trying to get into new manga right now. I tried reading that comedy yokai manga Riddell that's on Shonen Jump that's really popular. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I try to read it.
after the
I
first
can't.
chapter,
I would say what they're doing is that there are 3 winners, so like a gold, silver, bronze. I don't know if they're how much they're doing for as far as like honorable mentions, but there will be more than 1 winner, and they will get publication in Shonen Jump, the Shonen Jump app. So it'll be a digital publication. So I think that's just really cool. Like I think it'll probably most likely be on Manga Plus, because a lot of times the Manga Plus competition, they published the winners on Manga Plus. So it'll either be on the Shonen Jump app or Manga Plus. And it's just cool that you could literally have your work next to like JJK, for example. Like as they're scrolling, they'll see your work. That's just cool. That's fire to me.
So Ty, from a writer's perspective, answer this. What would you recommend? Obviously, you wouldn't know because you're not them. But from your perspective, what would you think would be the best way to approach writing a story for this competition? Would you go short game type of story? Would you give it like a length, like, hey man, maybe something concise like Attack on Titan, like 123 chapters? Like, what do you think is the best way to approach it?
So I think a lot of these are one-shot competitions. So you would have to pretty much do a complete story in 1 chapter. Now, right. I do think that for example, the Viz program, there is a section to submit a one-shot and there's a section to submit a continued series. So for the one-shot, which most of these contests are, you should try to create a completed story within 1 chapter. So the characters' core wound, their goal, their motivations need to all be very clear and resolved by the end of the chapter. And I would also say, I think, and it's something I've been noticing when I'm studying a lot of these like manga chapter 1's openings, that these characters are very explicit about what the needs and wants of the characters are very explicit. Like, for example, Thorfinn wanting to be a Viking, like Aaron wanting to be a scout. These things they just straight up tell you what the characters want so you can attach them quicker. So I feel like a lot of times I've done the mistake as well in my previous works is you be a little bit too vague with things, and it kind of, I think, stops people from connecting to your characters. Like people clown Naruto for saying he wants to be Hokage, and it's like very like explicit. But I guess what I recommend is when you see patterns like this, the authors are doing it for a reason. So I would say try to be upfront about what the characters wants and needs, and then concluding the story in that 1 chapter for that one-shot program.
So Ty, if you don't mind me asking, for your 1-shot, was it hard? Because obviously you're still building your story. By the way, we need a status update on volume 3. The people need it. But how hard was it very hard for you to condense your story into 1 chapter?
So, because I've told people this, I'm doing the reboot of my manga, right? And really, if you adjust a few things about a lot of chapter 1s, they could work as 1-shot. So, for example, Naruto chapter 1 could work as a 1-shot if Naruto's goal was to graduate from the academy, because technically he graduated from the academy and then his story would be completed. Like, his story is, I want to work hard so I can prove to myself I can graduate from the academy and start my life as a ninja. If that was simply his goal, then the story would technically have been completed in chapter 1. That'd be a nice wrap of the story. Now, obviously, his goal is not completed in chapter 1 because he wants to become Hokage. But if you were to basically lower the scope of his goal, you could technically complete a story. So the reboot version I'm doing, I am keeping the same goal. I'm just lowering the scope of it so that it can be completed by the end of the chapter, essentially.
Wise, you've been a little quiet so far. You know, we got in our little ramblings per usual. What do you think about this contest?
Well, I tend to be quiet because I'm interested in hearing all the news that you have to give. That's mainly it. I think competitions like this are needed, especially because of all the ending series that's kind of going on. I think that variety is kind of something that I would personally be looking for, a different I guess angle. I think when Chainsaw Man came into Shonen Jump, it kind of brought a different perspective. When JJK came, it brought a different perspective. When My Hero came, it brought a slightly different perspective than what we usually get traditionally from Shonen Jump. So I'm kind of excited to see how Horikoshi and him concluding his series with his mind. And I've read all of Horikoshi's work, or I would say all of them. I haven't analyzed them, but I've read most of his work, and he has changed so much since the beginning. So because of his now concluded series, successful series, I wonder how he's going to be able to judge the next generation. And I don't know if they tell or they kind of explain their reasoning. I've never, I don't know. Please, somebody school me on that. But I would love to know what they're looking for, and and what makes a one shot like actually, worthy of turning into a serialized series, I guess manga.
I would say I don't to be honest with you, I don't think they should tell us what they're looking for, right? Because like I was very interested in what you said. Like every big series adds something to Shonen Jump, obviously. And I don't know how long if Riddell, you've told Wise about your Riddell feels like Shonen Jump needs to die in order for whatever the manga industry, like whatever the manga industry needs to do to get forward. Like, so I want this actually a question to everybody.
That's interesting.
This is actually a question for everybody, but what do you guys think should be the story that could push, or what do you think a story that could push the manga industry forward, or whatever, Shonen Jump forward? Like, for instance, what I've been really doing this week, for some reason I'm back onto Overlord, and I fell in love with it all over again. I remember why, because Overlord is basically you're watching an isekai from the villain's perspective, right? Do you think they could do a shonen from a straight villain's perspective? And could that sell? Because I think that could be I would like to see that if that's in the next generation of Shonen Jump.
Before you go into that, I do want to clarify, because that is a strong statement for our first time.
Sorry, yeah, I just said it real quick.
When we were talking about Shonen Jump and all these manga that are disappearing, the statement was more so after the One Piece, JJK, MHA, and that period afterwards. I do feel like that Shonen Jump shouldn't have a monopoly on which manga is successful, because we see all these new stories come in. They're not successful because it's mainly catered to the Japanese audience. If they don't like it, it's not going through. So my issue, or what I want, is for other either editorials or just more of a broadening of the type of audiences that matter in determining the success of manga, which is why the statement Shonen Jump should die, in the sense that it should no longer be a monopoly after One Piece in determining successful manga on the mainstream. So that's what I meant by that.
What do you think, if I may, what do you think, like, are you saying that that Shueisha or Shonen Jump is actually the one that determined the success of a manga? Or are you, like, what do you think is the determining factor? That's like a question.
Well, I think it caters to the Japanese audience first.
Yeah.
And if they don't like it, then at those manga, and of course there's other magazines, but Shonen Jump's the big one. It's the big dog on campus. You want your stuff to get popular on Shonen Jump. So that's what I'm talking about, in the sense that it should be involving more than the Japanese audience nowadays, since anime and manga is so popular nowadays, and determining its success. Because there's some good manga that maybe the Japanese audience won't like.
I see. I think to that point, I think that it's kind of a thin layer for you to put all of your eggs in the basket of international audience being the supporting, I guess, viewership or whatever, or fan base for a series. I think it's actually important to kind of keep that, like, start with the Japanese audience and then expand out from there. I understand it is kind of like in YouTube, in this case, YouTube does it themselves. They analyze whether your video is going to be successful by putting it to your core audience first, right? And then you're establishing the base analytics, and then they start to slowly push it to, a larger audience that's kind of out of your sphere, in order for them to kind of get a better to identify the exact people to put the video, to put this type of content in front of. And I think that's what Shonen Jump is doing, to some degree. Of course, the Japanese audience is different from us, but if you establish like your core audience and it's successful with them, then it makes sense to me, at least coming from a content creator's perspective, to start off with the core audience and then slowly branch out, because at least you know that your core audience is going to enjoy it. If you don't know that they're going to enjoy it, then how are you going? You're just banking on somebody else enjoying it personally. So I mean, I guess it's just in perspective.
that pertains to what Danielle said. I mean, we all loved, at least most of us did. We loved Dear and Enemy. I'm still mad that they canceled that, but it literally did not cater to the Japanese audience, and we paid for it because I wish somebody else could grab that and do something with it. That's such an interesting premise. The characters were good, the powers, but it's just a shame that had to go by the wayside.
Yeah,
That's
and
understandable.
initially, what you said, I would 100% agree because that's how it becomes big. It finds your core audience and then it branches out. I believe, at the very least, that it's reached the point where enough attention and audience internationally are strong enough to cater to them more. And of course, if it's Japanese manga, Japan's going to be in the forefront. But I would also advocate for not only them, which is why this contest is so good, because they actually kind of emphasize the idea that we want your culture to be involved in the manga to create that variety, but also more editorials, more indie manga creators start popping up across the world to emphasize that you don't need to be in Shonen Jump to be a successful, good, and popular story. So moving away from that overall is what I hope happens. I still love Shonen Jump. There's still amazing stuff on Shonen Jump. But eventually I want to move away from that for sure.
I actually think it's already doing that because we bring up the weekly rankings a lot where things go in. Typically where you fall at will determine if you get asked or not. But I think the reason why I think we're already getting that is because Kagurabachi, for example, now Dear Anemone was performing very poorly across the board for pretty much its entire run. But Kagurabachi had stretches where it was like Dear Anemone, but its digital sales did so well outside Japan. They was like, all right, we're gonna keep this up. And it didn't fall. And now Kagurabachi's on. That's like Kagurabachi, like this past week is crazy right now. Kagurabachi been on a top 10 run for a while.
You broke up, Todd. Can you say that again?
Oh, so what I was saying is that because of the digital sales of Kagurabachi, it stayed, and I didn't need to ask. And now is doing so well that it beat out One Piece in this past weekly ranking, and it's been doing that for like a few weeks now. It's been in top 10 for a few weeks, but they were both on a similar trajectory. But Kagurabachi sold well outside Japan. It stayed, and Dear Anemone just didn't perform well. So I don't know if it was like a Dear Anemone performed well everywhere else but Japan, but it got axed. I just don't think it performed well in general.
So don't forget the question I asked about kind of going off what Y said about each story bringing something new to the table. And I want to ask for everybody. I said I'd like to see a shonen story from a villain's perspective. I would love to see something like that because I think when they're told very well, like if I got a My Villain Academia, but that was a full manga, I think I would really enjoy that because I love the manga. The anime messed it up, but I love the manga version of it.
I think we got that with like Death Note, for example. Death Note was a shonen story that was from a villain's perspective.
But I got that. But now I think if we bring that trope back now, like I'm talking, like do you Light at the start of the story was not a bad guy. I think I'm saying from the start of the story.
Yeah, I don't think the story. The point of Death Note was that he was a villain per se.
I
right?
think
That's kind of why I think that being ambiguous, like anybody could be
that
person.
I think his position was a villain, like for the story. Now, I'm not saying a villain as in he is 100% morally. He's Sakuna, but he's a villain though. Like he's like, are you getting my way? I'm gonna kill you. Like he was a villain. Like and it's also
I understand.
He's trying to play God. He's like, I decide who lives and dies. Like who gives you that right? Like he wasn't like, yes, he's trying to make the new world, but he wanted to rule the world. I'm gonna be the God of the new world. I decide who lives and dies. And if you disagree with that, you die. This dude's a villain. Like yes, he's not like twisting mustache. I just do it for like. I mean, Loki kind of did it for fun, Loki, but.
I think stories.
He's a villain.
Sure. I think stories like that, and also Hunter x Hunter. I think that they have a different, I guess, focus for their premise, or where their focus is. A lot of shonen series, they have like this theme that they want to like establish, and like it's basically like do this, don't do that, be this way, don't be that way. it seems that way in many cases. I think series like Death Note and Hunter x Hunter really just encapsulates what it's like to be in this position, or like to experience this, or be in a situation where, like, if you could be like this would this would be like an extreme level of that. I think Hunter x Hunter is fantastic at it. Like the whole shoot, I just lost it. Monsters, humanity, XYZ thing. I think Hunter x Hunter does a perfect example, or does a perfect job with that. It doesn't really tell you exactly like you need to be this way, you need to do this. Some series is like, you know, you should be helpful, you should be kind, you should have friends, you should, you know, XYZ, or do the right thing. I think series like, I think that would be an interesting premise though, like having a series following the villains. It'd be really difficult to pull off if they start off as a villain. I think that you would have to have like a strong origin or something like that. Like Shigaraki, if he was the main character, but it started off like, or Dabi, oh my gosh. If Dabi was the main character or something like that, and like if Dabi was the main character, like, and we just got it from like his thing, and like all we see is Endeavor's the number 2 hero, and we get in the story from Dabi's perspective, my goodness, that'll be that. Horikoshi would cook, because we already know the Todoroki story is top tier.
He spent a lot of time on that. He loved that.
It's grade A. You know what I'm saying? It's great. It's the best story in My Hero Academia. But like, just for example, like to your point, I think that would be an interesting. It'll just be really difficult because not a lot of people knows how to write good villains. One, and I don't think a lot of creators or mangakas or, you know, writers itself would be able to like what would be the point? Like that would be that, like what would be the what would be the ending? What would be the point of that story? Like that would be the question that what would be the theme? What themes are you going to follow? Like what is it? You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing wrong with that, but I would just be curious on like, what are you trying to tell me? What is it that you're trying to, you know, express to us, the readers, about your story that would make me care enough to continue, even outside of just being an interesting concept.
Like,
you know,
for instance, Overlord does a really good job.
We're gonna have to pause on this one because we are 30 minutes in.
Hey, random, you got me thinking, man. I like that. I appreciate it.
Gotta move on for now, but yeah, this is a very interesting conversation. We'll continuously talk about Shonen Jump and its future, considering how many manga are ending. Trust me, this conversation will be revisited when what's that? September 1st, the end of September. When that happens, we'll talk about it. So let's get right into Agenda Hour. All right, so this is Agenda Hour. Y'all know how it works. You guys can get off agendas. This is the last time I'll ask this. If the majority of you guys are on timing, then we can talk about it. Who has seen Deadpool and Wolverine?
I saw it.
I also saw it.
I was deployed, so so no.
I mean, that's fair. You're deployed. You know what I'm saying?
Did you finally see it?
I was out of town.
That's not an excuse. Or whatever.
I listen, man. Y'all can talk about it. It's fine.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to bring it up again, so we're going to talk about it real quickly. And then, Wise, Ty, I recommend you both muting because spoilers will happen.
I'll mute. Just drop it in. Have a chat with us then.
Because we got to talk about it. It's the biggest movie out right now, by far. So, spoiler warning right here. See, I care about y'all. Well, there's a spoiler warning right here, chat. I care about y'all. Man, Deadpool and Wolverine was fantastic. Don't y'all agree?
That was awesome.
It was awesome.
Amazing.
The cameos. When Wesley Snipes walks into the room and I fucking squealed. I was so excited to see him. I grabbed my boy that went to go watch it without shaking him. I was like, oh my God, no way. And I was then, you know, so many freaking cameos. It was great. Could the story have been better? I mean, but it's Deadpool. I'm not looking for an Avengers Endgame type of story. But I really did enjoy the story.
No, I love the movie. Like, if you're looking for like a good plot, probably this movie's probably not for you. If you're looking for a good time, just a good time, a good movie, a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, this is the perfect movie. With Human Torch coming back was like one of the best things ever. He didn't deserve to go out like that. He did not deserve to go out.
Nah, he was talking shit. You heard him.
No, but the fact that he was talking shit and that they actually got him to say all that, perfect.
And I'm like, the whole time, I'm like, Deadpool, bro, we fucking saw you, the one who said all. And then when he brought back the challenge, like he put him under review at the end of the movie was hilarious. So like, what the fuck? Like,
Man, it's this movie definitely was a true testament, kind of like how Infinity War and Endgame was a testament to, especially Endgame, to like the MCU verse. Deadpool and Wolverine was a testament to the Fox universe and everything that they brought back. Man, Elektra, I'm if you really in tune, you knew who Elektra was. Shout out
they should have
Daredevil.
brought back Ben Affleck, Daredevil too. They should have committed, but Ben Affleck got a little busy right now.
He's a little busy. That would have been crazy. Did you know? Oh, well, I might as well talk about Channing Tatum, Gambit. Nah, it works.
Ooh.
It works for sure. We got to see more out of him. We got to see more out of him. He's already a meme. He's already
I'm about to make a name for myself. Yeah, you make sure
yeah.
you make sure. Oh my, it's so good, bro. It's so good.
But did you guys know that Ryan Reynolds tried to get Nicolas Cage to renew his role as Ghost Rider?
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that. That would have been good. But I hear that. Well, since the Ghost Rider movie's coming out, Nicolas Cage might make like a cameo or something like that in the new Ghost Rider. So we'll see. Because that would have
been cool, like for them to just basically say, "Yeah, Henry Cavill is almost Wolverine."
Oh yeah, that was great.
The only thing that really messed me is I could clearly see the green screen on it, on his face compared to the rest of his body. But it's fine. It's a cameo. I'm not losing my mind off of it. That the hilarious comic book accurate Wolverine was hilarious. I can't believe he's only like 5'5".
Oh yeah, that's
in the comics.
Let me tell you, bro. He's
Kai, the Ghost Rider thing was announced during the Comic-Con or before Comic-Con, and Ryan Gosling's going to be the new Ghost Rider.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, he's a good actor. I'm sure
he is a good actor, but I'm gonna have to. I don't buy it right now, but we'll see.
Once they put on everything,
I mean, he can be a good Ghost Rider. Like if you ever, especially him on a motorcycle. One of my favorite movies ever is Beyond the Pines. I believe that's what the title called. It's one of my favorite movies. I don't remember the title off the top of my head. Hold on 1 second. Irvin, please refrain from political talk in the comments. Or time deleting your comment. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. You'll get timed out, my boy.
Chill on the politics. This is good vibes and anime and shenanigans, not politics. This was a great movie. I feel like it kind of does bring a testament to how bad the MCU is, because they never really treated Deadpool like a legitimate Marvel movie. And since they just came out with flop after flop after flop, they're like, hey, this great thing that we never claimed. It's like the stepchild that like ended up being better than all the regular kids. Now they're getting like the limelight. Like that's how I feel it is. And you're good, Irvin. Don't worry about it. But
don't forget Disney plenty of Ryan Reynolds had to fight them off with a stick just so he could make the movie that he wanted, because they kept trying to change things. So now that they fully have Deadpool in the fold, I'm worried. I'm really worried now about how they're going to use him.
I feel like I'm not going to be too worried. I think they understand that Ryan Reynolds needs creative control, especially considering how much money this movie brought in. Like, it brought in a ridiculous amount. Every Deadpool movie brought in a ridiculous amount. So, yes, he hasn't been there since the beginning, like a Robert Downey Jr., but his impact is undeniable at this point. They need to let him cook. And do we think something is going to happen between him and Thor? A little sneak peek scene with him and Thor?
I mean, they already laid it out. Why not? Hemsworth loves making Marvel movies, so he's going to be the OG that's probably going to do it for a long time. I'm down. I'm down to see it. Why not? Thor needs something to do in the new saga, because what? It's just him and that girl, right? Who runs with Stormbreaker. So he needs something to do, and he could bounce really well off because he's more of a comedy guy now than he is a badass. He needs somebody to bounce off because he's not running with the Guardians of the Galaxy anymore.
Yeah, I'm agree. Last thing before we wrap this up. Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, I saw this on a TikTok. So we're going to rank the Phase 5 projects. I think this is Phase 5, Phase 5 or Phase 6. The recent phase of Marvel's projects on best to worst or worst to best. So we got Deadpool and Wolverine, Loki Season 2, The Marvels, Secret Invasion, and the latest Guardian of the Galaxy movie. So, what do we think is the worst?
Secret Invasion.
I think it's pretty easily Secret Invasion.
That's a damn shame. That's a damn.
I'm
shame.
sorry that they fumbled that so badly. And Emilia Clarke did not deserve that shit. She deserves better. You respect your Khaleesi when you give her a goddamn role, okay? You respect her. You don't give her that garbage script with that garbage CGI and those garbage powers. That is the mother of dragons that you hired. That's the mother of dragons. You dare. Oh.
They've been disrespecting her since she left Game of Thrones. Remember when she tried to be in Star Wars and in the Solo movie, which was bad?
I mean, she has like a show, I forget what it's on, that's been doing pretty well.
No, she should be a movie star. She should be an absolute movie star. That's why I feel about her. She should be a movie star. And the fact that she just keeps, it's not like she's bad in them. She's not bad, but like maybe she needs to talk to her agent about picking projects and blah blah blah. But she just keeps being in bad movies, which is a shame.
Next will probably be the Marvels, right?
Yeah.
I heard
they made a good movie, but they first of all, I don't like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. I just can't buy her. And also, her behind the scenes, she's not that cool to work with either. Like a lot of people had beef with her. And then they're trying to make this, instead of trying to make it a girl power movie, just make a great movie. It would have done fine. Probably would have been pretty good, but you try to make it more girl power, and that alienates.
Did you really need a dance number when you guys were in India? Did you really need a dance number? I don't know if they were in India specifically, but I was just like, was that needed? It wasn't. The answer is it wasn't. It wasn't at all. It was cringe. Like, why is this happening?
Fair. I heard it. I actually haven't watched the Marvels, but I heard it did better than the first one, at least, because the chemistry between the three actresses were actually really good. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. They've just been fumbling Captain Marvel since she's been introduced. But
you should also give Disney a break. They lost Chadwick Boseman was supposed to lead the new phase, and obviously he passed away from cancer. Then their main villain, he gets in trouble with the law, so he's cooked.
Who knows? He could come back.
But they were doing ass before that.
He was good. I thought he was very good as Kang.
Yeah, but the Ant movie that he was in was horrible.
I mean, that's not Kang's fault.
I don't think it was that bad.
That's not his fault.
Kind of bad.
I think the ending with Big Head turning was stupid, very dumb. But I don't think it was that bad. But all right, this is where it gets interesting. What's the third movie? We have Loki, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay, are we counting She-Hulk and?
No, we're not. No,
If you're gonna bring Loki in, then you have to bring all the shows in.
Well, Secret Invasion is a show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you bring those in, then you have to bring all the other ones in.
I looked it up, and it looked like She-Hulk was in the phase before Loki.
No, okay.
Yeah, don't talk about She-Hulk. I don't want to say, because Loki is such a phenomenal show, I don't want to say that it's below Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was just so awesome.
All right,
so
Loki I'm going to make this easy for all three of us. We will all give our individual ranking for 1, 2, and 3 because these are the only ones that matter. So Lonnie, you can go first. 1, 2, and 3.
Oh shit! I'm gonna go 3. I'm gonna go Deadpool and Wolverine for 3. 2, I'm going Loki, and 1, I'm going Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That shit made me laugh. That shit made me want to cry. That movie was amazing, through and through. That movie was amazing.
Okay. Random.
Loki 1, Deadpool 2, Guardians 3.
Guardians 3. Okay, that's very different from what Lonnie says. A little explanation.
I really enjoyed. I think Loki's the best thing Disney has made since Endgame.
That's fair.
And obviously Tom is it Middleton or Hiddleston?
Hiddleston.
I really enjoy his work as an actor. I think I walked into Deadpool with such low expectations because of how much I heard about Marvel trying to mess around with it that I had such a blast. And that said, that's the first movie I've watched in theaters since Endgame of any kind. Of all the other ones I watched on Disney Plus when I had it. So I'm always Guardians was cool, but it didn't really feel, if I'm being honest, it didn't really feel that much different. Even with the Thor edition, it was a good movie, but when I compared to the other two, which hit me a lot harder, like those were just better. They were just better to me.
Okay. And for me, number 1, I would go Loki season 2. I think Loki season 2 was absolutely fantastic, and the ending was perfect. Loki's he's him, bro. If we had to talk about best characters MCU, Loki would be up there. He would be up there. Number 2, I would go Deadpool Wolverine as well, and number 3, I would go Guardians. I think both of them are all 3 of these are fantastic movies or shows. Deadpool Wolverine. I think Guardians had a better plot and story, but
he's wrapping up. He's just wrapping up.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right, I'm back.
I'm like, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, you're good. Just wrapping up the last point. But yeah, Deadpool Wolverine. I just think that I just enjoyed it more. It had everything that I wanted, from the cameos to I think Deadpool's my favorite character in comics and on movies. He's like my favorite character right now too. And everything just worked. Everything was right, even with Wolverine in there. Like, this is some of the best we've seen from Wolverine in general, not counting Logan, obviously. So that was just a fantastically enjoyable and comedic movie. And the choreography was out of this world between Deadpool and Wolverine. And then Guardians, I think, is really good. Story, really good. I just wasn't as attached to Rocket as a character. I think his story was good.
You're a bastard for that.
Rocket's great. But I mean, I just wasn't as attached to Rocket as a character. And the ending was a little bittersweet to me. I don't know. I still don't have strong. I don't know how I feel about the ending of Guardians. I thought it was a little bittersweet. So other than that, all 3 of them are fantastic movies. And we put a poll: which one you all think is best? Right now, Loki's winning right now. So shout out Marvel for putting out some good stuff in this new phase.
All right. But I got the next agenda because we've been suffering. We've been suffering with the loss of MHA. Now they just announced that JJK is only getting 5 more chapters. We originally thought that it was gonna. I don't know why you're doing this like you're happy. I ain't happy. I ain't happy at all. I'm struggling right now.
I'm at a JJK stand, so I'm just
they just took MHA. Now they're taking away JJK. But I'm guessing it was for like some weird blood sacrifice for us to get Hunter x Hunter back. Because now that's coming back in October.
It's Hunter.
Yeah, that ain't suspicious. That ain't suspicious.
Superior.
You know what? I'm just gonna be in my Delulu phase right now. I'm gonna be in my Delulu phase. Y'all couldn't stop me from the Tokyo Ghoul Delulu. You're not gonna stop me from the JJK Delulu. There's gonna end up being a sequel or of some time.
That's his favorite. That's his favorite.
What? That's like I was not expecting that.
Yeah, no. Hear me out. So we didn't know there was gonna be a part 2 of Chainsaw Man. We all know that Gege is working on something else manga related. So I'm thinking eventually within either it's gonna be a direct sequel or maybe another story in the JJK universe. But we're gonna get more to the JK universe after these next 5 chapters. Gege's not done with JJK yet. I have to think that because there's too much left out. I still don't know shit about Kenjaku. I don't know about the whole Kenjaku getting to his mom and all that interaction. I need to know his core wound for him getting back shots for his plan. I need to know why he did that. I still need to know why Sukuna's called. I still need to know why Sukuna's called the Fallen One. Because the angel called him the Fallen One. He brought Yuji into his role saying I'm the Fallen One. Why? Why is this angel chick after you? They spam Jacob's ladder. She has to be important. What's the connection? I need answers, Ty. Stop looking at me like I'm crazy. I know I'm crazy, but stop looking at me like I'm crazy.
Chapters.
Also, what's going on with the merger? Is the merger like imagine the last chapter? The merger happens. Part 2. Boom.
It can't happen.
Stop telling me what can't happen, Ty.
No.
Hold on. Ty, speak some truth to this man before I put the damn suit on again.
Lonnie, what has to ask this question, Lonnie? What has to happen?
I don't give a damn what has to happen.
No. Stop.
Also, I know we talked about this weeks ago. I still want a Hanan arc. I still want a Hanan arc.
Not happening.
I don't give a damn, Random. I still want
not happening.
I want to know about the 3 clans more. I want to know about the 3 great. I want to know all
Lonnie,
that.
you're gonna make me put the suit on, bro. I don't want to put the suit on.
What's the suit?
Let's go one by one.
I'll give you the lore.
I need answers,
Got
Ty.
you.
I need
Lonnie,
answers.
let's go.
Hey, Lonnie, real quick, how would you feel if we get one whole chapter of Hikari versus Rame?
Oh
There's
yeah.
5 chapters left. One of them is Hikari versus Rame.
We still don't know what are they grabbing tea? Are they like going shopping? Are they playing rock, paper, scissors? What's been going on for like the last 20 chapters that they just been boxing? Like I don't understand what Hikari's been doing. I really don't.
We've been learning Sukuna's jump resistance.
Let's go one by one. Let's go one, Lonnie.
I'll take a movie of the Hanan arc. I'll take that.
Lonnie, what has to happen for Sukuna to activate the merger?
He has to complete the culling games, doesn't he?
And what does that mean?
He has to kill everybody.
So you think that the merger is going to start with everyone dead?
Hey, maybe he kills Yuji. Part 2. We don't know.
What?
We don't know.
So the story
I don't know, Ty. I don't have the answers, Ty. Gege has the answers.
Bro.
I don't have the answers.
Bro.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to manifest this, and you're hating on me right now.
Lonnie.
Like how you trying to manifest Bakugo being number 1, and he didn't end up being number 1. I'm manifesting Sukuna winning this shit.
Hold on. Hey, Lonnie, stop attacking.
Lonnie,
I'm not attacking him. I'm just speaking facts.
Lonnie, hold on a second, Lonnie. What I'm saying is, if the merger happens, that means the villains won, and I don't think that's where the story.
I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with that.
I mean,
just so it can continue.
Well, how does it continue with so Sukuna just destroys the world? Like, I mean, I don't know. Lonnie, be for real.
Whatever keeps the story going, Ty. I'm not ready to
whatever keeps the story going.
5 chapters ain't enough. 5 chapters ain't enough, Ty. 5 chapters ain't enough.
Lonnie, that's fine. I'm gonna go one by one to talk to you about it. But the problem, anyone asking for the merger, I don't even know what to say to that. If you want everyone, all the characters just to die, I mean, I guess
figure it out. They can figure it out.
I guess.
Does that imply that Sukuna is the main character?
No.
I'm saying, like, would that imply that? Would that imply that Sukuna is the main character?
Maybe.
And then part 2 would be 100 years more.
Brandon would get his villain
second
main character story. There you go.
No.
We're all eating here.
Lonnie, do not add me onto this, bro.
If Sukuna ends up winning at the end,
that's not.
Gege, you have balls, and I respect it.
No.
He has balls, and I respect it.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Just because somebody does something silly, we can't just acknowledge everything, right? Letting him win at the end would be silly. Sure,
that would be balls. We mean silly.
You know something, Rodell, if I run out in traffic because I'm not scared, I got balls, don't I? But it's still stupid, right? Like, it doesn't matter.
You got balls, though, Ty. You got balls.
He still has a message to get to the audience.
Or maybe you just got that confidence. Maybe you just think, Ty, that you're him. Maybe you just think like, yo, I'm Himothy. I'm not gonna get hit by a car. I'm gonna hit the car. The car's not gonna hit me. Maybe that's your thinking. Maybe that's your thinking.
Lonnie, if the story is about love, and Sukuna,
we don't know what the story's about.
No, you know.
The story's not over yet.
The
story's not over yet. There's 5 more chapters. It could change.
The theme is established in chapter 1. What are you talking about?
Hey, you know what the first chapter was called?
Here we go.
What's the first chapter called, Ty?
Oh my god!
Say
Okay,
it. Say it. Say it. What's the first chapter called?
Wise.
Wise.
Random, what's the first chapter?
No, Wise. Let me give you
Wise,
some
you know what
lore.
the first chapter's called?
No,
Read the lore, bro.
Lonnie, we've let you go
Hey,
on long.
hey,
Wise.
hey. Oh, no,
This
no,
is-
no,
this
now
is
it's all
Wise.
Lonnie, because I caught them. Wise,
Nah,
you see how they're trying to
Wise.
gaslight me right now?
Wise.
Why
Hold
would
on.
they
Let
gaslight
me
me
give
right now?
Wise. Hey, Lonnie, I'm giving
chapter name
Wise
being
some lore.
Sukuna.
I'm giving Wise some more, bro.
Perfect, you're good. You're good. I forgive you.
All right.
I would say this: the first chapter being has no relevance in the conversation.
See, now
It
he's
really
cutting
doesn't.
in and out.
It
Now he's
doesn't.
cutting in and out.
Wait.
Because the StreamYard knows that he's
That-
bullshitting right now. See?
No,
See?
no, it's not. Like, hold on a second. What does the chapter being called Sukuna has to do with this conversation?
Exactly. You're
Nigga,
welcome.
what are you talking about? What is this nigga talking about?
All right,
Wise.
Wise. Let me give you
Said
some lore.
exactly with chess.
Yeah, let me
Sorry
give you
for
some lore.
Sukuna,
Wise.
You're
So
welcome.
Lonnie's favorite manga of all time is Tokyo Ghoul, right?
Interesting.
You know,
Interesting.
he doesn't really want to talk about what happened in season 2, and I
Yeah,
get
I
it.
was
It
curious
was a
on that,
travesty,
but-
right? But like a month ago, there was this big Tokyo Ghoul announcement.
Mhm.
Big Tokyo Ghoul announcement. Lonnie was hyped. We getting a reboot, baby. We was talking about it for weeks.
Tragedy.
And then guess what?
Yeah.
They got a fucking museum.
Hey, yeah.
They got a museum. And I had to come on this show with with my best church suit on, with my busted hairline.
What color was it? What color was it?
It was black. It was black. I had a whole. You see that whiteboard
With an
behind me
Easter suit?
right there? You see that
Yeah.
whiteboard behind me?
Yeah.
I wrote like a eulogy, and I went off, and I was like, Lonnie, it's time to let it go because the copium is literally hurting you. They gave you, Lonnie, Tokyo Ghoul literally gave you something you couldn't attend as a fan. And now you're bringing that same energy about Tokyo Ghoul to JJK.
I'm not bringing the same energy.
We
There's
need
still
culture.
5
You were
chapters
just
up. We don't
Lonnie,
know
do we
what's
need to
gonna
play
happen.
back the last
We don't
15
know what's
minutes?
gonna happen. We got
You're
5 chapters.
gaslighting. You're gaslighting Ty. You're
I'm
being
gaslighting
nasty.
Ty.
Yes,
I'm gaslighting Ty.
Yes.
I asked you what were the conditions for the merger. You say everyone would die, and then you ask what's the first name of the chapter 1. That's your gaslighting me, Lonnie.
It's okay, bro. It's okay. It's
Like,
okay.
you know, Lonnie, deep
I
down,
respect it, man. I respect it.
Lonnie, you know deep down that Sukuna wasn't gonna win. I hope you do.
I respect it.
Like, you knew that Sukuna wasn't gonna win. He wasn't gonna kill everybody and start the merger. Did you?
You know what? I plead the 5th. So
I played the 5th.
This is the same dude, Wise, that tried to justify Mahito and say that he wasn't wrong, even though
I
Mahito
never said that. I
Not
never
wrong?
said that. That is not what I said. That is not what I
Ty,
said at all.
Rodell, we were there. Was
That
he
is
not
not
trying
what
to
I said.
justify?
That is not what
You
I
notice,
said.
hey, Wise, you notice how he's saying I never
All right, I
said
need
that.
to. Okay, so
But
like,
no,
what's the point?
Why?
Well,
Because clearly people have comprehension problems. So what I said about Mahito, is that yes, he is evil, but he's not crazy because he is a cursed spirit whose purpose of being is to hurt and harm humans. So if that is his function, that's not me calling him wrong. So listen to what I'm saying, Random.
His nature. He's not
Listen to
evil.
what I'm
His
saying.
nature.
Listen to what I'm saying, Random. So if your purpose and your function is to hurt and harm humans, and you hurt and harm humans, I can't call you crazy. If a robot is made to like, I don't know, if a robot was made to like pick up things and like place them on shelves, and it started ripping down shelves, you would call that a broken robot. If you made like a soldier robot and it killed people, you would be like, okay, the robot's doing a job. Now, if the soldier robot starts saving a bunch of people out of nowhere, like starts saving civilians, that's supposed to be shooting, you'd be like, oh, it's a malfunctioning robot. Mahito is a human cursed spirit that was created off the negative emotions and hatred of humans. So its purpose is to torment and kill humans. What does Mahito do? Torment and kill humans. I'm not going to call him crazy because he's doing exactly what he's not a human. He's doing his function as a cursed spirit.
Crazy when we had a whole argument.
No, let's not go on.
Are we saying it's justified?
Riddell, don't let him lie to Wise like that. He was
I'm
trying to
not
justify
saying
the man's
I wanna
evilness.
take
I'm curious on these, man.
Hey,
we
this
gotta
is a
talk more.
tangent.
we gotta talk more.
We will have plenty of Jujutsu Kaisen conversation because Jujutsu Kaisen is about to end in 5 weeks. So there's plenty of conversation with Jujutsu Kaisen to have. But the main question is really, with 5 chapters left, based off where we're currently at in the story, will it deliver? Will JJK? I doubt it will have a bad ending, Well, let's give it a bar. Will JJK have an ending that will, one, satisfy most of the JJK audience, and two, will it have an ending that is better than MHA's ending that just happened?
I think they'll be pretty much be the same time. Now, I liked My Hero's ending. I thought it was
Pick
good.
one time. I see you. I know you're Mr. Nuance. You gotta pick one. You gotta pick one.
Yeah, no,
Can't
you are
both
Mr.
win.
Nuance. You are Mr.
I mean,
Nuance.
I
I don't
got
mind
you.
that.
I think
That's fair.
I actually think I might like JJK's more. Even though I thought My Hero was really good, just because I think the conflict they had of being Sukuna was so massive that seeing the resolution stand that I'm assuming is gonna be wrapped up well will just be, I think, satisfying to me. So I think that's probably why I might like it more. But will it please the fans? I think it will, just in a couple years, because most of these endings that people say they hate, for example, people hate the Attack on Titan ending, that was fire. People hate the Naruto ending back in the day. I honestly, people hate the My Hero ending, it was good. I genuinely think after a few years, we're gonna revisit the series. Oh, I actually liked it. So I think that maybe not right now, but maybe later.
The hate on the My Hero ending has been ridiculous, in my opinion.
People didn't read that My Hero chapter. It was very obvious.
I'm still mad about the misinformation, the Deku working at McDonald's meme.
It's a meme.
Which by the way,
memes have to exist. We need.
I got you. Which, by the way,
we need.
I understand it's a meme, but
Yes.
that is asinine in that world that he would be working at a fucking fast food restaurant when we've
Yes.
all literally seen him save the planet. He was literally live everywhere. He wouldn't be working at McDonald's.
The character in Devil's a part-timer works at a fast food restaurant.
Are you
He's
saying that
different. He started there. He
Are you
started
saying
at
that
the
he's
restaurant.
beyond-
It's
beyond
still dumb.
Started as a devil that was conquering the world. That's where he started.
That's not the same. I know what you're doing.
Also,
It's
I
not the
think
same,
I'm
Riddell.
just-
It's
No,
literally
no,
not.
to be clear, I actually think, and I'm just saying this one more time, I actually do think it might satisfy most of the fans, just not like maybe the people that we interact with on like social media, but that's not like the people that we see most on TikTok, Twitter. These are not the masses. Like in general, like these stories are worldwide, and we won't get that perspective. So I do think in general, because of how popular these are and how well they consistently do, actually they might satisfy most of the masses. Maybe not we may not see this because we're in the West, and that's most of the things that we're getting. But like worldwide, yeah, probably.
Wise, what do you think?
So I'm not a JJK stan, so it's not like I go back and like do like in-depth analysis on JJK per se. So I would say I don't care if it ends. My interest is more so in like what the story is trying to tell. Like I want, if however Gege decides to end the story, it's I'm fine with it, because I mean it's a run that you've been on. I rarely criticize too many stories for something unless it's like blatantly trash, like or just kind of left field or something like that, which isn't. I think Gege is not gonna like fumble like that, like just go like left when everyone kind of have a general idea of like how the ending will go. I don't really have an ideal ending for JJK, so I can't really critique it on that level, which is why I'm kind of like, I'm going to be Mr. Nuance of Ty, because I'm trying to be as fair as I can. I don't want to hate on JJK, but I don't think it's going to be I don't know. I want to see how it ends, and I want to see how the masses takes it. I think Ty's right. They're gonna hate it. Like people are gonna hate. Like it's just gonna be a thing, and then in a few years they're gonna say, okay, it's acceptable. They're gonna start saying it makes sense. They're gonna start saying, well, it wasn't that bad, and then they're gonna start saying I like it. But I guess it just depends, because again, I'm not a JJK like stan, so I don't know every individual thing. I'm pretty much like a casual in that sense. So hey, JJK is good, but is it better than My Hero? I don't know. It had some good moments, good things with it, but I think I go off of slightly different criteria. So, I would maybe give the nudge to My Hero over JJK.
I think that's fair to say. As of right now, when it's over, you'll be able to finally kind of critique it based off your criteria, of course. For JJK, 5 more chapters. I think it's going to be tough to address the things that I did want, once I realized the final arc was going to happen, like Lonnie mentioned a few things, like the Han arc, the backstory, like the whole the impetus of like why this happened, why we're in this scenario. I don't know if we're going to get an expanded explanation on what that would be. So unfortunately, depending on how the explanation is, it won't be satisfying. But you did touch upon a good thing, and I think a point that we all should kind of agree with is that at the end of the day, these guys are skilled writers. Like, these are successful for a reason. None of these endings are truly bad, like terrible, but they might be things that you don't like. Of course, there are some situations where it's like objectively, this was a bad move at the ending. Well, do I think that will happen? I don't think that will happen. I think GJ will execute based on how he wants. Will it satisfy everything that I was expecting? Probably not with 5 chapters left, but I'm not going to give up hope because GJ is a skilled writer. And I do think it can be a better ending than My Hero Academia, personally. I don't think they have to focus on as many things as MHA. And I think they can, I don't know if it's going to be a happy ending either. So a lot of those characters that people may or may not care about might get cooked at the end. So we will see. Here's hoping, but I'm not optimistic. I think, but I do trust GJ. I think
I do have a question after everybody can answer kind of after you give your spiel. Like, are we saying that like the last 5 chapters, or what are we starting off as the ending of JJK? Are we saying the final arc? Like, how are we? I would say like the final arc going into the ending.
The moment Gojo attacks Sukuna.
Okay.
That's when it starts.
So if you're gonna agree on that, then that makes sense. I would agree that they have less stuff, but I don't think that it just depends on execution, and I think that My Hero's execution on their wrap up for many of the things is done well to a degree that many people just don't respect. And now I'll leave it there.
Okay. I'll say this, because even though I don't like saying this, it kind of irks my fucking soul. But if we're talking like from the last My Hero arc in totality, with the Dabi situation, Toga, Shigaraki, All for One, all that, compared to the Gojo fight, then everyone else jumping in and stuff like that, I would argue that My Hero unfortunately has more depth to it. It kind of just does. So, which kind of sucks. Kind of pisses me off. Also Bakugo dying. Also, because I like JJK more. Okay. To be more to the ending. Not that I don't like My Hero. My Hero, but it's just like
you like it more.
But when we think about the totality of everything and how everyone came together in My Hero, from the separating the villains, then them holding off Shigaraki, then them fighting Dabi, Toga, Bakugo dying, coming back, Iron Man, All Might, Deku going crazy. If you saw the latest episode, me and Randall were watching at my house. Some people that episode, they were going crazy with the animation. They were going a little different. I was like, okay. Randall, of course, had to hate a little bit, saying it's not Demon Slayer animation. But guess what? That shit was still gas. That was gas.
I never said it was okay. I never said it wasn't good, but Demon Slayer is just the best.
Not everything has to be Demon Slayer.
Yeah, but like you don't gotta compare it. You can just say, this is nice.
But when we were having a conversation, about it, we brought up Demon Slayer. I'm sorry that Demon Slayer just keeps cooking. It's good. It's not Demon Slayer, Lonnie. But it's great. It's okay. It's great, Lonnie. But it's not Demon Slayer.
Thank you. It's great. Let's just leave it at that.
It's not Demon Slayer. It's not Demon Slayer, Lonnie. It's just not.
Let's just stop comparing. All right, let's just stop comparing animation.
Demon Slayer, don't wait till the Blu-ray to get it right. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God, let it go.
Demon Slayer only for years to do.
No.
Guess what? It's still got a 9.8 without the Blu-ray. So now what?
JJK is a better story than Demon Slayer, but I'm sorry that Demon Slayer gives you a full package from Jump.
Okay, and they get the unfinished version gets the same grading as the Demon Slayer version.
What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do about that? What do you want me to do?
Literally nothing.
How did we get here?
So the unfinished version
of he started attacking me. I was just chilling.
Stop comparing.
I was just chilling.
How did we get here?
I was just chilling. He attacked me. The fuck we talking about? I'm not trying to crash out, but I'll fucking crash out. I'll fucking crash out. Taking guitar is still better.
What's still better?
Taking guitar is still better.
No, it's not. But
Yes,
okay,
it fucking
you're
is.
entitled to believe that.
You're entitled to your own opinion, Lonnie. What the fuck?
Lonnie, I feel like
Your opinion can't be wrong.
Lonnie, I feel like you're on edge.
I'm
You're
not
on edge, man. It's okay.
What?
JJK's ending. You got a museum. Don't get mad at me. Just get mad at other people. The fuck you talking about? Don't attack me because your favorite chick keeps fucking up.
Hey,
all right. With that,
See how they're just shifting? You see how they're shifting to attack me?
Hey,
Stay on topic.
that's just you and random. But
Talk about JJK and he brings up Tokyo Ghoul. Like what kind of shit?
with that said, we're gonna
Gaslighting.
Nah, that's funny.
Gaslighting.
Oh my gaslighting. You brought up Tokyo Ghoul. I'm
that's
talking about
true.
Nah, that's
JJK.
funny.
time out. I feel like I was thinking about whether or not we should talk about Boruto, but we're not going to do that today. Maybe we'll do an individual video about talking about the recent Boruto chapter. We tend to be very negative, but unfortunately, it's Boruto, so it is what it is. We're going to react to a clip, and then we're going to move on to the main topic. So, Santo, can you bring up that clip? And I think it's from our favorite Naruto content creator.
Who's that?
Well, we'll see. We'll see in a second.
After the main topic, I did want to say something about Sakamoto Days. This reminded me.
Oh my gosh.
Our favorite content.
I don't know how many of you saw this, but in the most recent chapter of One Piece,
Hold
Oda
on.
added
Start from the beginning. All right.
Oh, good old Nick.
Good old Nick, man. Stop beefing with Lion. All right. All right. So we're gonna be reacting to his video here, clip. I don't know what it's about, but it's talking about One Piece being too long. So, all right, let's dive right into it.
I don't know how many of you saw this, but in the most recent chapter of One Piece, Oda added this drawing of Smoker at the end of the chapter. Now, this drawing was done to honor the ending of My Hero Academia, and you might be thinking, oh, that's weird. Why would he draw Smoker to honor MHA? Well, that's because 22 years ago, a fan submitted a drawing of Smoker that was included in the SBS. And who is that fan? Horikoshi, the mangaka of MHA. And like, wow, this is an incredibly wholesome and sweet moment. This means that 22 years ago, a young Horikoshi, a fan of One Piece, submitted a fan drawing of Smoker to Oda while One Piece was running. And now 22 years later, this child turned into a man, made his own manga, which is 430 chapters long, finished it, and this thing is still running. I'm not kidding. I'm being dead serious when I ask this. Who's got better longevity, LeBron or Oda? Because they're both on historic streaks.
I mean, it's
Okay,
Oda.
not really a hot take.
Oda.
Oda.
He's been doing it. What's okay? Look, obviously, I have not seen One Piece, right?
Oda wise,
But
Wait, more longevity than
the man's
LeBron?
cooking.
LeBron just won. LeBron just won the
I was
Olympic
thinking, first of all, the
MVP.
reason why it's LeBron,
it should have been
It's athletics. It's a bot. It's a.
the reason why
Go
it's
ahead.
LeBron, because people at Oda's age making manga isn't too foreign. People doing what LeBron doing at his age is very foreign. That's not normal.
No one does
Like you
that.
can you can be about 40, 50 years old, make manga, and no one's like, oh, that's great. A nigga being 40 doing this?
Yeah.
How long
Yeah.
has One Piece been running? How long has One Piece been running?
It's like 1990 something.
1997.
It's coming up on what?
1999,
years?
1999.
LeBron's
Yeah, 1988.
physical.
Oh, 30 years?
Detective
Being-
Conan's been going on forever. Hajime Ippo's been going on
but-
forever.
but here's
Being
the thing, right? I
physically
mean, they're both
capable.
Jojo
of being
Bizarro's
the
been going on
So
forever. So it's
here's the thing,
basketball
right? I think
players for 20 years is
because you kind of have to split hairs. That's where we're splitting hairs. Like it's me that one that doesn't have great longevity, obviously. But I just think that at LeBron's age, it is more. He's more in like foreign territory than Oda at his age. That's why.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I can like. It's just you gotta split hairs because it's really close. You gotta split hairs.
I don't
it's
even know
close.
if I can agree to that because, yes, in terms of age, if we're going physical, sure, but in terms of length of time of dominance, then what Oda's doing is unprecedented.
How long has One Piece been dominant in internationally?
since the 2000s.
Well, I need specifics, right? Because LeBron has been playing basketball his entire life.
It's
So
I
it's not.
would say like
not-
since
so
2001.
One Piece has been the highest selling manga since early 2000s.
Okay, so
Now,
LeBron has been.
So it's got sold a few times in like I got also like by Death Note one time. It got sold by Naruto once.
Are we forgetting
Demon
that
Slayer.
LeBron went to
Sold by
9 straight
Blue Lock
finals?
recently. It's been outsold more recently.
He has the most
these
minutes.
past 2020 late 2010s, like it's been outsold a few times, but in the 2000s, like up until like maybe like I don't know, mid 2010s, they were like, if you outsold One Piece, it was like, oh my god, like you outsold One Piece this year. But it's more common now, obviously, because it's
and
Because
also
what
One
anime
Piece is going to
I don't
outlast
know.
LeBron. It's going to
Huh?
outlast LeBron and keep going.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think anything relative to NBA, right? I don't think anyone in my lifetime, right? It's hard for me to be able to believe that anyone will be able to do anything to any level close to what LeBron is doing, right? And his resume and what he has done, of course, you would say, and everything. But like the longevity of LeBron James, I think it's way more likely that someone will get injured and stop before Bron than someone. Maybe not to the same degree, because I think Oda, what he's doing is like, I mean, he's top one. You can say. I just don't think that we'll ever see a Bron. I think that, I mean, maybe not in Shonen Jump, we won't be able to see something like Oda, whatever. But
that's where I disagree. I think it's harder to do what I don't think. It's similar to like, how John Stockton's assist record is just unprecedented. Like probably nobody's going to catch it up because of the era it was and how they're counting stats. What Oda has done since the 90s, nobody's going to have that much of a leash to have as long of a manga and be as dominant in that situation. No, like nowadays we go like 200 chapters is long, over 1,000 plus an anime that's over 1,000 plus
And around 1,500 at least.
Exactly. And he's not even done there, because now they're making a live action for an actual good live action. Oh my goodness. Anime live action suck. And then One Piece live action finally came out and it's good. That's going to be doing. And then One Piece has been so long and so dominant and so good that they're remaking the pre-time skip of One Piece with a different animation style, different art style, just to bring in more fans to appreciate the greatness that is One Piece. I don't think anybody's coming close to what Oda.
I think somebody coming close to what LeBron.
I'm also thinking like his manga run,
He's
not
in
like
year
the anime
22.
studios.
I mean, I think that's connected.
I will say, I think it's obviously, like we're gonna have to put a qualifier on it. Both of these people are doing ridiculous things, but I think it's a lot. It's going to be it's easier for somebody to do what LeBron has done than what somebody will do than somebody to do what Oda has done. And what he will continue to do. Like,
but the thing is that there's been multiple mangakas that have been doing it as long as Oda.
Yeah,
but there hasn't been. Hajime no Ippo is nowhere near the quality of One Piece. It's just not.
Because if we're just
talking longevity, then that's fine. Because
you can't say it's unprecedented when a lot of people have done it.
Yeah, like that's the point.
It's the quality of it. Look, Kevin Garnett played 20 years.
You realize people have played as long,
people have played as long as LeBron.
Yeah,
it's the quality of the play is.
No one out. LeBron is one more year.
Are we saying Hajime no Ippo is not good quality?
It's not. Do you put Hajime no Ippo and One Piece in the same sentence, Lonnie? You've read
but One Piece is One Piece is number one. We're talking about the greatest story of all time, but the same thing with LeBron. You call him the greatest basketball player.
LeBron is number one.
You realize Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has played like 15 plus years, right?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played
his last 3 years, he was averaging like 7 points.
Hajime no Ippo is nowhere close to One Piece.
Nowhere close to One Piece.
And no one's nowhere close to LeBron.
Okay,
but LeBron averaged 30 in year 20.
Lonnie's main thing is the longevity.
I'm just countering Lonnie's point about.
Okay. I'll say LeBron just won Olympics MVP.
But we're talking about like quality. All right, so if quality of like careers, like if you're saying like the NBA careers, like they dip towards the end, has the quality of Hajime no Ippo or Detective Conan, has that dipped towards the end?
They're not One Piece, Lonnie.
I know they're not. That's not my question. My question is, has their quality of the story dipped towards the end of
but Lonnie, once
so
again,
so they have not
Lonnie,
dipped in
Lonnie.
terms of quality. They're not the same.
Lonnie,
hold on.
My counter argument to Lonnie has Hajime no Ippo for peaked close to One Piece.
No, I wouldn't say peaked. If I put One Piece S tier, I would put Hajime no Ippo in like an A.
No.
In terms of story,
like quality of One Piece, because we can go S plus 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 plus. Do you think that Hajime no Ippo ever even touched One Piece's peak? Because I can make the argument. I don't want to, but I can. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at his peak has peaked. LeBron is still better, but he's right up there. So
we're talking about the tail ends of their career. So we're talking about where they're at right now. We're like 20. So like year 22 LeBron. Has there ever been a year 22 player that has reached his level? No.
Well, I would say this.
There's no year 22 manga that's reached One Piece's level.
Well, I ain't gonna lie.
If this gap is like this and they're just steadily going, then what does it matter? If there's a guy that actually was right here and then he topped off, I feel like that's more valuable.
But the thing is, at least if One Piece is here and Hajime no Ippo's here, at least they stay there. But in basketball, LeBron's here.
Wait. No, I think the problem with this is a lot of pieces of conversations. It might be contingent on how we view LeBron and Oda, because to me, Kareem at his best ain't fucking with Bron. To me, at his best, he's
yeah.
I think
at his oldest, no one combined.
I agree with you.
Hold on a second. Let me say this real quick. I think LeBron at his best is only, to me, the three best hoopers are LeBron, Jordan, and Kobe. I think the best hoopers. But I think so. Those are the only three that I could think are as compete as far as they are as far as how good they are at basketball. To me. Now, I think I'm not taking all their accomplishments and all that crap, because that's a lot of team stuff you can't really determine. Like sure, you can say that Larry Bird won more MVPs than Kobe. He's not a better basketball player than Kobe. I don't care what nobody says. I looked at fuck no.
Who'd you say?
Nah, don't say fuck.
He said Larry Bird.
Because Larry, I said Larry really was that dude.
Would you prefer if I said hell no, or like?
That's crazy. It should take.
But again, to me, I think One Piece is peak. But I think that Full Malcolm has had a higher peak than One Piece. To me, I think you could argue a lot of ALT's peaks are higher. I could probably throw some Naruto peaks in there. Like, to me, I think One Piece is probably in my top 10. But I can think of other animes that have had quality as far as their story writing up there with One Piece. I can think of a lot of stories like that. I think obviously One Piece has more peaks and it's longer. But I can think of was there points in the story? I think that in other stories that compete with My Hero's top best writing moments, of course. With LeBron, we can't name. I don't think we can name 10 basketball players ever at their absolute best as good as LeBron. We can name a player manga.
Can't. I mean, if we're going there, because
you say you can't. Oh, okay.
No,
we're talking about point in time. I mean, I feel like you can do that with LeBron too, of course, in points in time. Whether it's around the same level or better, of course.
But you brought peak though. So but
that peak. The reason why I brought up peak is because it's comparing things that have the similar longevity, not short runs that peaked higher in this short amount of time. Only for the ones that have longevity, because Lonnie's making a comparison that there's other stories that have the longevity of Oda. Yeah, so that's the reason I brought up that.
I get that, and I'm fighting against that, because even if it's like this, like Lonnie said, by the way, that's not right. One Piece is off the goddamn screen compared to Hajime no Ippo, and I read Hajime no Ippo.
But you don't read One Piece, so how do you know?
Because he knows all.
Lonnie. Even since we started our podcast, Lonnie, even since we started our podcast, I've talked about Hajime no Ippo more than all of us combined. But every week we talk about One Piece. Every time a new chapter drops, we talk about One Piece. It's not comparable, Lonnie. It's really not.
It's not. You're missing the point of what I'm saying. The point of
what I'm
saying is that their quality doesn't dip with their longevity.
Lonnie,
no matter what tiers that they are, their quality does not dip.
Lonnie, Hajime no Ippo's quality has dipped at times compared to One Piece. When you compare it to One Piece, it's just not the same. Just because
I'm not comparing Hajime no Ippo to One Piece. I'm comparing
let me ask you a question.
Basketball players in terms of longevity.
Lonnie, let me ask you a question. No, hold on. Let me ask you a question, Lonnie. Let me ask you a question.
Nigga, it's your question.
I said you forgot the damn.
I didn't ask the question.
No, let me ask Lonnie a question. Okay, so you are saying, Lonnie, you are saying because Hajime no Ippo has also gone just as long, that's notable, even though the quality is not the same. Just because I drive a car for 20 years and you drive a car for 20 years, that doesn't make our cars the same. If you maintain your car, you keep it quality, and I just keep driving my car, sure, they both went 20 years, but one car is better than the other. That's what this is. One Piece is consistently better. It's consistently better.
So change One Piece and say LeBron, and why is that wrong?
I think the fact that One Piece is still one of the best, arguably, you're saying it's the number one right now. LeBron's not the best in the world anymore. He's still great, but he's not the best in the world anymore. Like One Piece is still the best.
But like that's the reason why I'm giving the edge to LeBron, because it's way more difficult to be the best in basketball in year 22 than it is to be the best mangaka because of what is required of you. You physically being like what LeBron is doing, right? One, he's still a top 10 in the NBA.
Are we gonna just lie and say that One Piece has been the number one all year? Is that what we're gonna say? Are they just been the
best?
Undisputed?
Okay. There were times
JJK
in 2016
hasn't peaked higher this year.
Lonnie, in 2016
this year.
Lonnie,
is that what we're saying?
Lonnie, in 2016, Steph played better than LeBron. Nobody was saying Steph was better than LeBron. Nobody said that.
That's a good point.
Steph wasn't playing better than right.
Yeah,
nobody said that.
He wasn't.
So that's why I have this problem with you. And also, Lonnie, let's not sit here and pretend like when you're a mangaka, it's all sunshine and rainbows. People literally die doing this. Do I need to tell you about Kentaro Miura again? He literally died making Berserk. People died.
Yeah, people get injured.
I was to say now we're bringing up mangaka deaths. Like, what are we doing?
No, but when you say it's harder, like when
I think it's more difficult.
I'm trying to say it's harder to be a mangaka than a
basketball player.
That's what you're implying.
Gentlemen, I'm gonna have to pause. We're hour 30 and we haven't got to the main topic.
Let's get it.
It's time to transition to the main topic because there's a lot. And we might open up the panel for people to come on and give us their My Hero Academia take. So let's dive right into it.
Real quick before we dive into the main topic, because all this LeBron talk got me reminding of a previous My Hero question that we had. And since Wise is here, I just wanted to ask you, and I already know Random's rolling his eyes, so I already know what's gonna happen.
This is such a dumb argument that we still have.
So Wise.
So dumb.
Yeah.
So let Lonnie ask this question.
Let me ask Wise. I don't know why you're crashing out already.
It's dumb. It's dumb.
Get some water.
It's gonna make me crash out.
Let him
do it. Because it's dumb.
I want to hear.
You don't believe this.
Random. Let him ask the question. Wise will answer the question.
Yes.
Nobody else answer the question.
Okay.
Just let Wise answer the question.
This must be a good buying question because everybody crashing out right now.
Yeah. I don't know why Random was just getting so upset.
All right, what's up?
All right. I'm not gonna ask the Moneto question. I'll save that for later.
Moneto, crazy.
All right, but we were going through like all the new gens and like all the senseis and things like that in manga, like how Naruto surpassed Jiraiya, Luffy surpassed Rayleigh. Asta surpassed Yami. You could say like almost every student has surpassed their master. But did Deku really surpass All Might in terms of strength? You could say yes, but in terms of like what they accomplished, All Might established like 40 years apiece. Deku's story, Deku's resume is really just kind of like in a year. Mm-hmm. So not that he's not accomplished, but if this was basketball terms, is All Might LeBron and Deku's kind of KD with the Warriors? Because that kind of makes sense to me. Because like
that's a
KD,
crazy one.
Deku had a lot of help. Stay with me, Wise. KD had a lot of help. He had Curry, which was like Bakugo. He had Todoroki, which was like Draymond Green. Shit, he had Iguodala, which was like Endeavor. All Might was just by
Wait, I have a
himself.
Lonnie, before you go, Lonnie, is Curry the most valuable in that analogy? Because
yeah. Low-key.
Hey.
Michael, you know, I guess.
Because like KD got all the credit at the end. He got the MVP award, but
so
we all know Steph Curry was the engine of that. So it's like, so is it crazy to say that?
Are you saying Deku that you believe? First off, before I answer, are you implying that you don't think Deku surpassed All Might? Is that your point?
In terms of resume, no.
Okay, so
we're talking about the totality of their careers. Because remember, like All Might has years upon years upon years of.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna be fair because I try to be fair. Well, I guess first and foremost, All Might. I am a little bit of a lore guy, so All Might end up leaving UA at 18 years old. He goes to America. He comes back after his young might age, after a few years. So he's probably like mid-20s by now, right? He established himself, silver, bronze. He actually did all of his work during his bronze age, right? Not his golden age. So that's about, 30s. He's about in his 50s now. Now he's in his 60s because it's like another 8 years, right? Mm-hmm. So he's in his 50s and the current state of the manga before the time skip or whatever. So that's about 20 some years, right? Let's just say 20 some years.
We're just talking about resumes. We're just talking about resumes.
Boom. So it's 20 something years of like this super low, peaceful society. So can Deku or has Deku done anything to that degree? No, because he can't. It's an impossibility, right? He's only had one for all for about a year and a half, right? Because really a year, right? Not even that, like 10 months. But so he's only had one for all for that long, and then he lost it. And then he, 2 more years approximately, because we don't know when he actually lost the embers. He ended up losing the embers. So let's just say he graduated UA and he lost the embers after he graduated, so he couldn't become a hero. Within that year, though,
it was a great run.
In that year, nah, like
it was like Dale Grove's MVP year.
Nah, within that year,
crazy.
What Deku did,
it was a lot.
All Might would not be able to that's like somebody coming in random. That's like somebody coming in randomly and just they got defensive player of the year, MVP. They dropped 36 a game. They won championship and finals MVP all in the same year in that 1 year. What Deku did was unlike anything anybody could have ever whatever. Which is why, could I say he surpassed him? I just can't say it. Even the story doesn't even imply that he surpassed him, because everywhere the metric is All Might. Even afterwards, they're like, when I was young, we used to always want to follow All Might, Best Genius, I don't think it's a Hawk, but All Might, Best Genius, Deku, Bakugo, and Choto, right? Like those are the people that are, so they're all in the eyes of society the same level. I don't think Deku has surpassed him. I don't think Deku can surpass him. Even with this All Might suit, I think that All Might is All Might because he is the symbol of peace. And I think the new generation is a symbol of hope, which is why they will never be able to surpass what All Might was able to do personally. So no, I don't think Deku did. I think that he created a better society. I think he's creating a better future for the world than All Might did by far. So maybe in the future he probably would, because he created a system or a future that's built on hope and people. All Might was a singular person, and that was inevitable to break, because either he was going to die or he was going to or what happened with All for One would have been what it was, which is why All Might went into a depression mode after he lost one for all the embers. He started hating himself and then, all that stuff. So yeah. So no, right. But
no, Random,
I got the answer I wanted.
No. I said Wise is just going to respond and we're going to move on. So I said that to everybody here, Random. I said that to everybody here.
No,
Random, you're muted.
No, don't do that. Don't do that to me, though. That's ridiculous. That then add all the context, please. Why?
Is there more context?
No. Add all the
context. Ask a question.
Add all the context. Every single person that Lonnie named had their power longer than Deku.
Yeah,
Did the one thing.
that's what I'm saying. That's why I said. That's why I said the 1 year. Unlike anything.
No, why?
Like,
This is the problem.
perfect
This is the problem.
season.
This is the problem. What they say.
I blame
Deku
Lonnie.
literally did the one thing All Might couldn't do. He literally did the one thing he couldn't do.
Oh, yeah.
He did the one thing he couldn't do.
All for one.
The nigga won the championship. He took All Might beat All for One in the playoffs. Deku beat All for One in the championship and won it.
Yeah.
And won it. He only had the power for 10 months.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
in terms of that,
I don't understand. No, I
That's
don't
still right
understand.
though. Well, I said yes.
But Deku helped. Hold on a second. But Deku, but All Might was on the championship team as well. So like,
He
that's
didn't
like
fucking win the championship though, Ty.
He
did.
They all
Yes,
fought
he did.
together. They all
He
fought
wasn't the
together.
main
What are you
guy,
talking about?
Ty. He wasn't the main guy. When he was the main guy by himself,
I didn't
win it.
say he was.
What do you
Nah,
wait? Now
but
you're
you know
chatting.
what I
Now you're
meant,
chatting.
Ty.
Now
No,
you're
you know
chatting.
what I
They all
meant.
helped.
This is where I have a problem with y'all just straight up lying about
They
this.
all
No,
helped.
you're lying about it.
That's
All Might
great. That's
defeated
great.
All Might defeated One for All.
He
defeated
didn't
him.
win. He didn't beat him.
They
He beat
all
him, but he
He
didn't
literally
defeat him.
crippled him, and he
He
thought
didn't
that he
beat him.
killed him.
Did he come
He
back,
literally-
Lonnie? Lonnie, did he come
Why?
back?
Why?
Lonnie,
Did
did
he
he
not
come
think that
back?
he killed him?
Together.
He didn't.
Did he
kill
not
him.
think
he
that
come
he
back?
killed him?
Yeah, he
Lonnie,
did
did he
all
come
could.
back?
Exactly.
fought
Exactly.
together,
So you
Brandon.
thought
Well,
that
no,
he
he-
killed one. They're
he
Lonnie,
technically
did he come back?
Technically,
Answer the question, Lonnie.
Dr. Garaki ruled the
I'm trying to answer the question. So they're MIA for
Not
years,
losing.
or is it decades? One for All is MIA. I would consider that a win, Riddell. If you beat someone
The
out
nigga
to the
came
point
back
of
and
death,
threatened the world again. He didn't
I mean,
win.
it was
Yes,
6
he
years.
did.
Yes, he
because
He
did.
didn't
That was
win.
6 years.
what do you- okay.
Let me ask you a question. Well, I
have a question for you, Random. Did Goku beat Vegeta? I mean, did Goku beat Frieza?
No.
Ooh, I don't
No.
know about that. That's a very for the
Trunks
that
is
is
the one
for
that
the sake.
Once
that
again,
is for the sake of
I need
consistency.
y'all to
I do
understand the
not
difference
believe
between
that.
beat and defeat.
Stop.
Ty, who
Stop.
defeated?
That-
Ty, who
no,
defeated
no.
Frieza?
You see
Ty,
what I'm
who
dealing with,
defeated
Ty?
Frieza? Who defeated Frieza, Ty?
Goku.
Goku did.
Trunks literally killed
Both of them
Frieza.
did. Both
Wait,
of
wait,
them
literally
did.
killed
hold on a
Frieza.
second.
Oh, crazy!
Wait,
Super chat. Oh,
wait,
bullshit.
time
That-
out.
Both of them
Just
did.
because
hey, so
That's crazy work.
hey, if you guys don't know, we have donation goals. If you spend $5, you can mute a person for crashing out. And I spent $10 to mute Lonnie and Random because they're crashing out.
Oh
All right.
my goodness! I love
Had
it.
to do it. I had to do it. I had to do it.
Somebody said too much
Random, come back.
IQ.
All right, let's get to the main topic.
Hey man.
Hey, all right. So yeah,
All right, let's get to.
I love this. This is funny.
Let's see. The crash out timer will be 3 minutes. 3 minutes right here.
That man
So-
got on the watch. I love it.
Yo. Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
My gold academia.
I had to do what I had to do. We had to move on. We're an hour 37 minutes in. So, My Hero Academia has came. It is gone. It's been about a few weeks since it's ended. And in this one, we're going to judge My Hero Academia in a lot of different categories. We have the main categories and we have subcategories. And we're just going to give our own personal ratings from 0 to 10, 10 being perfect, 0 being trash, and 5 being average, of course. And then all the subcategories will average out to the main plot category rating, characters, settings, themes. I think we only should just go for the main theme, and then the art, our own personal opinions on how well the art was structured and the paneling and all that stuff. So these are the 5 primary categories: plot, characters, setting, themes, and art. And we're going to dive into all the individual categories right now. Gentlemen, any questions?
No, I think I understand.
When is Random coming back?
I don't know.
2
But
minutes.
it's unit in like a minute and a half. So,
Let's get it, man. Let's get started.
all right.
Free Lonnie.
Free love.
W Lonnie, because that was crazy.
Nah, that was
back to
crazy.
We're
Yeah, that was insane.
We need to have that needs to be a topic because that don't make no sense.
Yeah, I had to. Lonnie, crazy.
Interesting question, though. Interesting question.
Also, I'll end the poll here. Oh, actually, one more vote because LeBron James in One Piece is tied right now on the poll. So
I got you. I got you.
All right,
no,
let's do
someone
it.
else break. the
Nah, you good.
Let's
I
do
got
it,
you.
man.
Okay, let's go
Break
to
it
the
down
plot
right
first.
now.
So, beginning of the story. What would everybody's ratings be for the beginning of the story? Obviously, You can give your own explanation, but we're gonna average out our ratings to give a final number on the screen.
Okay.
So we'll start with Ty.
Beginning of the story. I mean, I think it's really. I think My Hero's first chapter is one of the best first chapters in Shonen Jump. Like as far as like what it accomplishes, it connects you to deck. Like the first page is great. The opening is amazing. I think it put an interesting twist on what it means to, because the question is what it means to be a hero. And a hero is someone that helps other people like without thinking. I think that's fire. I give the beginning of the story, it's like an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
Let's go random.
30 seconds for Random and Lonnie. Wise on you.
Yeah. So hold up. Are we talking about the first chapter, or are we talking about like the first like arc or something like that, or for like the initiating chapters to go into the story?
Whatever you consider the beginning of the story. I don't want to give you a fun.
I've read My Hero Academia so many times. So I'm looking at it from like, I guess, this perspective. So I'll go into the first real situation, which is USJ. I think that My Hero Academia's, I guess, beginning of the story is so well done. It is done so well. I think Horikoshi knew exactly what he wanted to do, and I think the slowly revealing the most important people to Deku, and not even starting off necessarily, or starting off with Bakugo and not really focusing too much on that, but just going to Ochako and Ida and establishing that dynamic and putting Bakugo in situations where like he has to, in the background, of course, but he has to, establish himself in the class. And you got Kirishima Kaminari kind of like being established roles or in a relationship with Bakugo because of personalities. And I think everything from the first 3 arcs, or 4 arcs technically, if you want to, whatever, which ends at the USJ, was done flawlessly into the introduction of the main villain. And Shigaraki's introduction, I don't know how people view it, but Shigaraki's introduction is so underrated. I don't think people praise it enough. Like when Shigaraki came through that portal from the USJ, I think that, like, first off, the entire USJ arc was just amazing, or mainly the end, when All Might and stuff like that came through. But that was such a good thing. And then Nomu coming in and, establishing a different power because All Might has weakened form. So much was going on. The stakes were so high. We started getting powers from different characters and seeing how Horikoshi was going to I'm using the word establish a lot, but that's just what it is. But how he's going to establish like the side characters into the story. And I think that he did it. He executed it so well. And I think that's why My Hero Academia's praises has been so strong. The first 2 seasons of the anime is like arguably people think is some of the best, right? And then season 3 is clearly on a different stratosphere, because season 3 is goated. It's just peak, right? So I think the beginning of My Hero Academia is strong, and it continued on to the midsection, and then we'll talk about the end later. So I will give it an 8.5. The reason why I can't give it a 9 or anything like that is because I'm not counting in the UA Sports Festival, and I'm not counting in the Hero Killer arc. I'm not counting in the Hideout Raid, nor am I counting the Camino incident. So I'm only establishing the first, or counting the first 4. It's like an 8.5. If I would have counted those, 9.5.
Okay. I'll go next, and then Lonnie and Random can go after. I consider the beginning of the story, for the most part, like up until Deku, like he meets All Might, and All Might officially chooses him. So that's kind of where I think like the beginning is. So I mean, I'm not saying what you said is wrong. I'm just saying that what I think the beginning is. So from where I see it, I think it did a really good job setting things up. Now, I didn't really like Deku at the beginning, I'll be honest. He's just not the type of character I draw to, but I can be objective in terms of I see what they're trying to do. It was interesting in the idea of someone without powers trying to save someone. And you saw like what type of person Deku was right from the beginning, and you also saw the symbol of peace. And you were trying to think like, how is he going to make him this hero? Like after that initial point in the story, I remember back in the day when I was watching My Hero Academia, a lot of the theories that were coming out from the camp that I was surrounding is how is he going to become a hero? Because we didn't know actually how Deku was going to be this hero that All Might's going to turn him into. Some people thought he was going to be like a Batman type figure from right off the gate. Some no powers, he's just going to learn how to fight and all that stuff. Now we learn, the hair and all that stuff, and fine, it is what it is. But it immediately grasped my interest, and that's what you were supposed to do at the beginning of a story. It had a lot of emotion behind it. You got behind the main character, even though you don't really like the main character. Well, I didn't really like the main character, but I was intrigued with this story. I would say, for me, the beginning, I think did its job, and I think it did it well. I'll go like 7.5 personally. 5 is average, so 7.5 is still really good. So that's where I'm at. Lonnie?
If we're not counting like the sports festival and all that, I'd give it an 8. I think it was a really great introduction. It definitely like captivated me. First chapter is one of my favorite chapters. Even though I'm not. Everyone knows I'm not a big Deku person at all. I never will be. But
Not either, man.
Yeah, but establishing Todoroki and Bakugo and all those other characters early on, it was like really exciting, especially like that first little fight that him and Bakugo had. I thought it was like pretty early for like that first rival fight. It was like almost immediate. But I really loved it. And then you also got to see how crazy Todoroki was from jump. How I think the first thing I heard him say was like, "Oh, don't move or you get frostbite. I have to like melt all the ice off you." I'm like, "Damn, he's like that off jump." So yeah, so the characters were really interesting. They were like All Might was, I don't know, I guess they're Japanese Superman. But no, it was all really good first arc, so I'll give it an 8.
Okay, Brando?
It's 7.5. You guys have already said everything that I would say.
Okay. So 8, 8.5, 7.5, 8, 7.5. We'll round that up to an 8. 8 out of 10.
That's fine.
All right. The ending of the story. We've talked about it in length already. On this podcast, we've all kind of gave our thoughts about it. So I do want to start with Y, since he's obviously never talked about it on the platform. So what do you think about the ending of the story? What rating would you give it?
So the ending of My Hero Academia, the final arc of My Hero Academia, I think the build up to the final arc of My Hero Academia was not done poorly, but it was just not done to the best of its ability, because I know there's no way for me to honestly believe that Horikoshi missed out on a few things. And I'll explain that in a minute. I do think that the plan was perfect for what Horikoshi wanted to do, which was to split everybody up in their individual areas so that he can show us what it means, or I guess, what each individual hero, how they are going to exercise their heroic philosophies onto their villain counterparts, right? I think that's it's done. We already knew that the main match was going to be somehow Deku was going to fight against Shigaraki. Somehow, what is it called? Shoto was going to fight against Dabi. I actually thought it was going to be Shoto and Endeavor before the whole thing. I was like, man, they're about to fight together. But I didn't realize that it's probably best for, Endeavor and Hawks to fight against All for One. I think that, and then of course Ochako. I think the way that he separated them and brought them together was so dang good. It was just, it's so hard for me to explain how amazing it was. Mainly because of like the different things that you didn't know. Like we didn't expect All for One, or we didn't expect Deku to get taken by Toga. We didn't expect what happened with Toga. We didn't expect, Bakugo's. I can spoil, right? Because I don't, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, go ahead, spoil.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, we're in this part.
Yeah, gotcha. So we didn't expect a Bakugo death. Now, of course, everyone thinks it's Mickey Mouse, but we don't care about those people, right?
Who's everybody?
I'm those people. That shit was Mickey Mouse.
You go.
Sorry, just do some push-ups. All right, so we didn't expect Bakugo's death, right? I think the anime did handle that better than the manga because we didn't see like the pumping of the heart from Edgeshot and stuff like that. Nonetheless, we didn't see the all for one getting a prominence burn, getting prominence burn and coming back with the rewind, right? Everything had us on the edge of our seat. We was like, oh, how is Deku going to actually be able to defeat Shigaraki? And then Bakugo dies, and now he comes back, and then he's able to go crazy. And then Mirio is the actual person that comes and makes sure that he calms Deku down for him to control his powers, for him to be able to overcome. It's just like Horikoshi put a lot of time and attention into the things that he did. I think that the endings of each and every one of those individual stories was amazing. I think the best ending personally was the Ochako. I don't know if this is the Ochako and the Toga ending. I think it was by far the best ending of every single one of them, mainly because I think Horikoshi put way more energy into the art. Because if you go back and read that fight, just the fight, and you skip all the other, you just focus on that fight, it is one of the most beautiful stories, even though we only got a little bit of it in this arc.
Which fight?
The Toga and Ochako. I think that fight itself, if you just go this is the exercise anybody want to do. Like, just go and only read the fight of the character that you're trying to focus on. Don't skip everything else and just read it. It'll bring you a completely different perspective on like what the story is actually trying to tell. And oh my goodness, that is a beautiful thing. And I think the epilogue, the last couple of chapters that Horikoshi needed to establish an epilogue of what happened in the aftermath was amazing, because in the final chapter, because of what happened with Toga, I love the fact that that Horikoshi mentioned that Ochako was the one that spearheaded the most important factor into children coming up and develop themselves into more civilized people, which is court counseling. And it's so amazing because that quirk counseling actually goes into this one thing that people think is a problem or is a miss with My Hero Academia, which is the quirk singularity. For some reason, people think that that's a missed plot line, but it's actually not. Like, it's actually answered in the Ochako versus Toga fight, because Ochako was because Toga was one of the faces or center faces for the quirk singularity. It's not what you think, and now I've already established I've already thought about things like this. So I'm not trying to be super long-winded, so forgive me, but I just love the story so much. The one thing that I do have an issue with is the Todoroki situation. I think the Todoroki situation was perfect. I think it's the best story in all of My Hero Academia. The only issue that I have is that the lead up to the final war did not establish the truth behind what Shoto was going through. I'm pretty sure everyone has talked about the Shoto in the last, I don't know, maybe the Shoto in the last chapter, they were saying the reason, or there was establishing one of the reasons why people still look at him. People still look at him as Endeavor's son, and that is the thing that no one will actually understand what that is, because Horikoshi did not actually show us in the story. He only told us. He only told us that through Dabi. Dabi was like, how does it feel to know that you're with XYZ? And, but he never showed us. It was kind of like the class 1A students were saying, oh man, I know it sucks for Shoto because people don't treat him right because he's Endeavor's, he's Endeavor's son. But because he didn't show us, we never actually got to see the citizens in UA, because it was the citizens in the UA little barrier thing or whatever. They were the ones that were kind of not hating on him, but kind of, taking it back. Oh my gosh, this guy here. So because we never saw it, I think that moment is going to be diminished. It's not going to be appreciated as much now, unless you just decide to appreciate it and stuff like that. So, with that, that's the only thing that I would say is it sucks. I wish Horikoshi would have, and the Deku Rogue arc, when Deku came back, I wish he would have kind of given us maybe 3 to 4 chapters of us seeing the citizens kind of or all you got to do is just Shoto walks up to try to save Deku, and everyone's like, oh, that's Endeavor's son. No, don't, something like that. That's kind of show us that, and then see class 1A come through and be like, hey, it's okay, XYZ, or maybe Deku, because they're in the same light, they're in the same situation. That's what Horikoshi was trying to show. Deku and Shoto, they're in a similar situation. People are fearful of Deku coming back to UA because of who he is, rather because of the power that he has, and people are treating Shoto in this demeaning way because of his ties, his family ties, the fact that he's the son of somebody who was, pretty much a traitor, right? He was a liar, right? He was hiding his truth behind, his heroic work and stuff like that. So I wish he would have kind of shown a little bit more of that. But outside of that, I don't have too many complaints. Horikoshi, you did a great job. Deku's dad, I hate the fact that you mentioned that he was going to show up and he never did. But I'm okay with not knowing, because I don't think that Deku's dad showing up was going to affect the story in any way. At least, like when I look back, I have to reread it now that is complete in its totality. So I love it. The ending, I would give it a 9.5. I would say 9 out of 10. I'm not gonna say 0.5 because that Todoroki thing really upsets me. And I think the lead up to the final arc was kind of rushed, rushed. But I mean, I can go to bat with almost anybody on any point if they have, if they need understanding or want understanding from a different perspective. I don't have the answers, but I can give a different perspective on like how to see different things that happen in the final arc. So forgive me for being long-winded. I do love this story, and but I would give it a 9.
All right, bet. Random.
Speak, nigga.
He's on mute. I don't think he realized he's on mute.
Are you talking, Random?
He frozen too?
Yeah.
Like he frozen.
Check. He might need to check his mic.
Is he still talking?
Looks like he's talking, but it's just he's muted on here.
He may not realize he's muted.
There we go. He's good now.
Right, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. In terms of the ending, I'd probably give it a 7.5 to an 8. There were some things that I was
Which
really for the ending. For the ending
No,
of the story.
which one? 7.5 or 8?
Sorry, I'll go 8. I'll go 8. It's fine. There were some big story beats that I wanted to see. One thing that I've always said about My Hero was that it has plenty of spin-off potential. And the one thing I've always wanted to see, and I was really, and I'm mad that I'm probably not gonna get this unless this is like some fan thing, like what Choji's doing, fighting basically My Hero's version of racism because of people who look different. Yeah. I was really interested in that, and they touched on it a little bit with that, with the lady that you meet in the Dark Deku arc, but they don't do anything with that. I really wanted to explore that, especially when Choji reveals, "Hey man, I was born in the countryside," and that kind of mirrors what happens in Japan today, and just how they react to things that are just different. And I really wanted to dive into that. I think Ochako and Deku, and this is just me because of how much slice of life I watch wise. I wanted more.
Them to come, yeah.
I wanted more. You put them. I wanted more. I think certain people should have died in the final arc. Like I understand why you kept him, but I think All Might should have given his life to die against All for One. I think it would just hit a little different for me. Like look, this is not even hating, and this is just manga logic, but like how if Bakugo's gonna live, Edshot should die. I don't understand how you're gonna. They've explained it. Or coaches explained it. I can't buy it. You're literally the man's heart. If that means that maybe you do like a Kami thing where Edshot is kind of there in Bakugo's body, I don't know, but like I'm just never gonna truly buy that. What the dude comes in, here's a clean thing of water, fix his heart real quick, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. And me and Lonnie talked about it at the time. I just don't buy it. Yeah, like I understand it's just crazy when you're talking about a guy like with all the stuff that's going on. I just don't buy that. But other than that, it was good enough. Like that's why I try to fight against all the misrepresentation that I hear about the ending in the comments. Like people saying that he was ghosted by his classmates. Oh, man, life happened. Life happened, and they know where he's at. He's doing what Deku should be doing, which is raising the youth, and then eventually he's going to get back. He got to be a hero again. It's just a lot of people, like Miles said it yesterday, and I kind of agree with him. They wanted Deku to have that like I'm him moment, and that's just not who Deku is. He was never like, I'm the strongest, I'm this, I'm that. He's always like, we.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I would have liked for him to have that moment, it's just not who he is. So I that's why I'm saying it's not even Deku, it's just some things that were brought up. Like even the overhaul thing. They kept we touched on a little bit, then we'll go away. Then I was like, when Legant was carrying him around, I was like, oh, okay, let's see something. Then we left him again, and then now we see overhaul, and the guy's back, and this is going on. And there's just some things that they were just left on the cutting room floor, and I get it because of Horikoshi's health and Shonen Jump doing their thing that were left on the cutting room floor that I would like to see.
All right.
That's interesting.
Let's go to Lonnie, and we got a lot of categories. So moving forward.
Damn, we do got a lot of characters.
Yeah, we gotta speed it up.
I don't know why you chose so goddamn many. All right,
there's a lot to talk about when it comes to anime.
True. I'll give it a 7. There are some beautiful things about the last arc of My Hero, like some of the craziest panels I've seen, some of my favorite panels I've seen. Some of my favorite moments from My Hero, like when Shigaraki says he's the hero of the villains, that really moved me. But there's also just a lot that I didn't like, or things that even if they were written well, like I think I said before, there are things that happened in the last arc that they were written well. I just didn't like it. The Toga and Uraka situation, beautifully written. I low-key hated the end of that so much. That shit pissed me off a lot, actually.
Pissed you off?
It low-key pissed me the fuck. I was really mad at the end of it. I was like, yo, what the I think I tossed my phone. My phone. Bakugo. I love Bakugo. If he wasn't supposed to die, the other guy should have died. I'm sorry. The way that they set it up, it was just like backstep after backstep after backstep. It was just like, oh, I'll never be the same again. I'm probably gonna die from this. My first initial thought was, hey, you guys are in the middle of battle. This is like Ty ended up talking me down the ledge. My first thought was like, you guys are in the middle of battle. You're the number 6 ranked hero. You guys got to prioritize fighting right now, and you're doing heart surgery in the middle of the goddamn battlefield. Okay, whatever. But if you're gonna sacrifice your life, I guess it's for a noble cause. I respect it to a degree. Then he coughed. Then he fixed Bakugo from the heart surgery, and then it's like, oh, like he's still low key dying. Like he's like a little thread. I'm like, okay, yeah, he's gonna have his last dying moments. Then next thing you know, after the fight, he's got some little arms. You're like, oh, okay. So this whole big ordeal sacrifice situation was just kind of Disneyed up. Whatever. Yeah. So that kind of, there were just little things that like. I also didn't like the fact that Shigaraki got one-shotted. That was so anticlimactic. I'm not gonna hold you. Shigaraki all for one getting one-shotted at the end. Just the one punch to end it all. After they were just not. I'm sorry, Ty. That just one punch and that's just the end of the.
He was never mind. But
I don't care. I'll make mine. You got one shot and he lost. Like that kind of blew the fuck out.
I don't know how you get one shot. You had like 16 fights, but I'll make mine real quick. You know, I like what Random said about Deku's all about we, and that's why the chapter they all jumped all for one and they all beat them together, right? Including All Might. I love that. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 ending. 9 out of 10.
I'm not falling for it, Ty.
I'm not. You're gonna fall for that. I'm just saying.
I didn't even mention the last few chapters, Ty. So I'm not even going. It's a 7 out of 10.
I give it a 9.
I rock with it, Ty.
All right, and then I'll wrap it up. Personally, for me, initially I had it 6 out of 10. 5 being average, 6 it's above average, and
that justification is crazy.
And I will say this because of some stuff that Juan said, I will bump it up 0.5. So it's 6.5 out of 10 for me. And I'll be honest, it's an above average ending for sure. Like I don't come out of this and saying that anything was poorly written or bad, but there are things that I think that I wanted more. Now, the reason why I bumped it up 0.5 is because I agree Todoroki Dabi story is a masterpiece. That story is fantastic. And unlike Lonnie, after the Toga and Uraka thing happened, I was one of the people saying this was amazing. This is one of the best things here because their dynamic is so great and how it was written. It was so fantastic and it was so human too. So that was fantastic. So those two storylines were absolutely fantastic at the end. Other than that, a lot of good stuff, of course, with the fights and some storylines that are touched. But I just thought more could have been done personally in terms of the ending. I thought All for One, yes, I knew he was going to be the final villain, but I wasn't like the most satisfied on how everything kind of ended. I expected more in the final confrontation between Shigaraki, All for One, and Deku. The way it ended made sense. It just wasn't that satisfying to me, at the very least, for a final confrontation. And everything with Deku was fine. I do think they could have built some of the other storylines a little bit more, like the mutant storyline a little bit more, because that's had so much potential. I thought more could have been flushed out for, especially since Spinner has a whole part in the epilogue because the value that not only he has, but also Shoji has, as we've seen, considering he's going to be kind of changing the perception of mutant kind. Right? I thought that could have been done a lot of bit more deeply, kind of went into more deeply. And the final bits, like we said, the romance and the relationship, I mean, they were alluding to it so much between Deku and Uraraka, the fact that nothing came out of it was kind of awkward to me. I'm not gonna lie. And but I do think the ending.
You're moving me, Riddell. Actually, make mine a 6. Make mine a 6.
I don't think that they were. That's the thing. Like, I'm pretty sure, even Ochako and Deku stated that they would have to put their emotions aside for the sake of their hero. Like that was already an established thing, which is why they were more passive in those things than not. So I mean, I'm kind of
in terms of the mission, sure, kind of similar
for everything.
No, I think afterwards, at that point, I mean, we see heroes get together all the time, right? Once you're a hero, you can be in a relationship with another hero. I mean, we saw the whole thing sparking between Mount Lady and Kamui Woods, for example. I don't know how that works, but apparently it's a thing. So,
Nah. Let Kamui Woods cook, man. Let him cook.
Hey, man, go crazy, Kamui Woods. I think if you're not going to have a final resolution for a major relationship, I don't think you should allude to it at all. Kind of similar to One Piece. I don't see anybody getting with Luffy. Maybe Boa, maybe, but I think that in that situation is like if the no relationship happens at the end of One Piece between Luffy and someone else, I'm fine with it. Like it's not a big deal because they weren't really alluding to Luffy in any of the crew. But that's just me. Like I said, I'll say 6.5. Are you changing it to a 6, Lonnie?
Yeah, I'm changing it to a 6.
Okay. All right, let me do some averages, and then we'll move on to the main plot. This we don't have to go into like the entire story, but Lonnie, what is the main plot, the main story of My Hero Academia? What would you rate it?
I'll give that a solid 7.5. Main plot, like it's a simple plot. It's not nothing too crazy, but it's executed really well, and it has like some really good dynamics to it. So yeah, I give it a 7.5 out of 10.
All right.
Random.
I'll give it main plot. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10.
8.5. So 7 and 8.5. Any quick one sentence explanation? You can give like a quick explanation.
I'll say this because of how well Shigaraki is developed over the course of the story. Because I was worried that he would just be a vessel for All for One, and he really established himself as not, even though until the end, where I'm going to say that I think Shigaraki should have beat the Vestige and then fought Deku. I think that would have been awesome, but they didn't do that.
Interesting.
All right. Waz, what do you think?
Main plot. Are we adding in All for One?
Yeah, everything. Like the main story of My Hero Academia to you.
Well, yeah, because I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. The main reason is because it doesn't involve Shoto. Let me stop. The Todoroki storyline is a subplot, so it's not a main. But it. I mean, can I add that or no? Because I don't think we can classify that as a main.
I don't think it's a part of the main plot.
Okay, yeah. So I'll say 8.5 out of 10. I think All Might, Deku, and Shiggy and All for One, their dynamic and how they grow up and how they develop was just amazing. There's some things that I would like to shift and change, but for the most part, it's pretty good. I do disagree with like the Shiggy being the final. I think that they could have done it better. Yes, Hori could have did it better, but I've been on a roll for this for a long time. Shigaraki is not the final because of what One for All is and what All for One wants and why he wants what he wants, which is why that line of him saying, now on to my pointless next phase, which is world domination, is just so, that's just such a powerful thing. So that's kind of that's my take, 8.5.
8.5. Okay. And Santo, can you change the beginning to a 7.9? I'll be more precise. And then the ending to 7.7. And then okay. Ty, what do you think about the main plot?
I give it like an 8. It was really good. 8 to me is great. It's a great main plot about One for All versus All for One is the main thing. And what does it mean to be a hero? The importance of legacy and pass your will on, and empowering the next generation versus All for One taking from the next generation, empowering himself. Really good. Really good.
Okay. Main plot. For me, I'll go like a 7. Co-sign on like a lot of what everybody's saying. 7's still good. I think it's still executed in a lot of different areas. A lot of good twists and turns at the end of the day between Deku, Shigaraki, and All for One and All Might. Of course, some great moments when it comes to all of them. I do wish, and it could have been like a 9 or a 10. I do wish that they made the point that Ty brought up in terms of it being about everybody a little bit stronger with Deku. Because initially, like the first half, I would definitely say that I thought it was just about Deku beating All for One. And then later on, the second half, especially in the final arc, then you start getting the idea that no, it's actually everybody. I didn't get that feeling until the final arc, to be honest. I really thought it was going to be Deku or Shigaraki or both of them ending All for One and what All for One is by clashing their ideals. But everything else is still really good and really entertaining. So, yeah, 7. All right. Next, we'll go art to art quality. Art to arc. How are we feeling about this story? Ty, you can start it off.
I would say another 8. Like it's kind of the same thing. Like the arcs are
more low. My vision, and we could delete this if we really think this is the same thing. My idea behind art to art quality is on an art to arc basis. How consistently is it like good versus bad?
Well, I think I'm like the transition.
I think it's they're consistently 8 out of 10s at least, to me at least.
Yeah, I thought you meant like the transition into the next arc. That's what I thought you meant. But
I was just thinking about the arcs individually in pockets compared to all the arcs and the quality of arcs, like having a really good arc and then having a terrible arc, like stuff like that. That flow of
I don't think it has any terrible arcs. I give them all like.
Yeah, I don't think any of the arcs are bad.
Like 8 out of 10.
All right, big bet. Okay, main plot. Santo is a 7.8, by the way. You said 8, Ty?
Yeah.
All right, Wise, what do you think?
For the art to art?
Yeah.
I mean, 8. I don't. If you're going off of like the quality of the arcs. I think they're So I mean, 8 is very
Do you
consistent.
think there's
for
any
the most
meaningful
part.
difference in this category? We could delete it.
Yeah,
I don't
think there is
I'll
any.
really see it.
Yeah, not really.
Okay. All right. Last. We'll delete this one, Santo, and then I think one more. I don't know if I put one more below. I don't remember. But top tier moments. A lot of times when the stories are defined, they're defined by their moments, the ones that stick in people's memories and make them feel something. That's how people retain information the best. Not the actual information, but how the information made them feel and the excitement or the sadness, all that stuff. How great are the My Hero Academia top tier moments?
I would say
Great.
that. I mean, the top 10 moments are 10s to me. I think the top 10
Great.
moments are perfect. So I would say they're 10s. Like All Might versus All for One. I think that was a 10. I think Deku and Bakugo learning both sides of heroism, like saving people and winning at the same time. Like that was a 10. Endeavor saying the importance of like what a wounded hero, like 10.
Oh my god.
Toroki backstory 10. Like it's just the peak moments are 10s, right? No.
Yeah, I'm
You
gonna
know,
say
what's
10.
crazy is every big moment I was thinking of was different with what Ty just said. I was thinking of sports festival,
Shoto.
Deku versus Shoto. That moment, when Deku's fighting Muscular, 1000% or whatever. That's my favorite moment, maybe in the whole thing. Besides the Shigaraki saying that he's the hero to all that the villains need a hero too.
Yeah.
So I would give it 9.5. Yeah, I'll give it 9.5.
I said I think it's 10s. Yeah.
Okay, 10, 9. Wise, random. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I'm picking 10. I'm counting like the All Might coming into USJ, ripping his tie, and like I am here, and like you said, Shoto, using his fire side for the first time. It's like the Stain moment where he took that step and was talking about like all the fake false heroes, and I think the very underrated Endeavor putting his fist up, saying his "I am here" moment, pretty much after
you stole mine,
like
bro.
that. Like that. Oh my
that was
bad. That was
peak.
Shigaraki finally awakening his quirk after fighting Reed Destro. Like that. There are so many moments where it's like, and then we're not even talking about Deku versus Overhaul. Like Mirio versus Overhaul. Like it's just.
Will Lemillion get shot with
I'm so
the?
sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't list my favorite moment when Bakugo fist.
My bad for
palm-
telling you, but
when Bakugo fist palm Deku in season 3 when he beat him.
That
I
bully.
wouldn't change a single thing about that. When he had him like a fucking football,
so moments.
stuck it. Just
It's so many moments where it's like,
shit, Ty.
oh no, Deku was into the fight. Deku wanted to win that fight.
Yeah,
it's not my fault. Y'all nigga lost.
People want to beat their bullies all the time.
That's
crazy.
Listen,
you can't. It ain't my fault. Y'all got his ass kicked. That's
I mean,
I'm not falling for it.
no. I don't really care for Deku, so
That's random. What would you give it?
I'd also give it a 10. Since Y stole mine about Endeavor raising his fist up. I think Shiggy raising his fist up, standing on Endeavor.
Standing on Endeavor. That was
crazy.
That's aura right there.
His little hand swipe thing in the air.
I'm always partial to when that shot of Deku standing on a building right when the Dark Deku arc starts. Right before he's like, Muscular, let me go beat his ass. I'm partial to that one.
That's what he said.
That's basically he was so annoyed in the panel when he sees Muscular. It's like, fine, bro, let me just kick your ass real quick. And then the moment when Uraraka talks to the people at UA to allow Deku to come back, and Deku, like, I understand Deku cries all the time. That time, let it all out, bro. Let it all out. You've been literally fighting to save the world, and everybody fucking hates you, except for the few people that really care for you. And the last one, I'm partial to. I don't know why. I feel like more people talk about this. So when the sports festival starts and they're doing that race, and Deku basically just outsmarts niggas to win the fucking to win that first race. When he jumps on Shoto and Bago's back and he uses the bombs, it's so genius. It's such a good visual when he runs into the stadium and he's first, and Bago looks like he's about to have a stroke because he just can't believe it. And I really like that as well. And also one last
bet
underrated
you
moment
did.
is when stop Ty. We're not doing this. When Shinso's about to make Deku walk out the ring, and then the vestiges pull up to help him out. Heat 2.
Mickey.
There's a lot of really great moments in
Mickey.
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't. That was unbecoming of me. I shouldn't have said that.
Mickey.
I shouldn't have said that. That was
That
unbecoming
is
of me.
wicked.
I'm gonna go 9 with Lonnie. I think
it ain't my fault. It ain't Deku's fault that he chose to use the vestiges and other people didn't.
No. That's nothing wrong with that.
I was scared. I was scared.
All right, let's go.
I'm gonna go with 9 as well. For these top tier moments, I think there's a lot of great ones. To build up moments, you obviously have to build up tension, build up the scenes, build up the importance of the scenes, and build up the characters. And I think My Hero Academia obviously does that very well. And that's undeniable. And it made me care about Bakugo, because I wasn't a big Bakugo guy.
Your first W.
Hey, I will say this: Bakugo in the recent anime episode where he was like letting it out. When I read it in the manga, I was like, but the anime did it justice. The anime did it justice when in that scene before Bakugo's death, right? So that was an amazing moment. Of course, Todoroki and Deku in the sports festival and the final clash, that was a great moment as well. And even though it didn't mean anything, the little vigilante Deku a little bit, that was a cool, different version of Deku that it was cool to see in that little tiny span of time. So
they should let that breathe a little bit longer, man. They really should.
I forgot to mention the best moment in my the Dobby reveal.
I forgot that the Dobby reveal.
Dobby reveal, best moment. I don't care. I'm not arguing with nobody. Dobby's reveal in the manga and the anime. The manga and the anime, number 1, and don't even argue with me. I don't even.
That was peak. That's a good
one.
He changed society.
All right, so the rating for top tier moments is 9.6 after doing the calculation. All right, let's go to characters now. Santo. We'll start off with the protagonist, the guy that we've been talking about a lot so far, Deku. Where does he rate as a character?
Deku's a fire MC.
Yeah, he's a great MC. He's great.
I'll put him at an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
I'm with Ty. He's an 8 out of 10.
Like he would be, and for a letter grade, he'd be an 8. I would have him at A. Like he's up there. He's at A.
Okay. Wise, what are you thinking?
I'm putting him at. Okay, let me be graceful.
No, don't be graceful, Wise.
I will put
speaker because I ain't gonna be graceful.
Lonnie, funny, bro. I'm gonna put him barely at a 7. Well, it's not that it's like it's. He's a 7. I'm just gonna say that.
Deku you don't want to continue. Okay, I see.
He's not a trash character, but you were talking about main character. I don't think that Deku is a better main character than some character that would be better main characters in the story of My Hero Academia. I think that's just pretty much it. That's it. That's just pretty much it.
Okay, fair enough.
He's not trash though. He's just not. He's not him.
Okay, Lonnie.
Why do I gotta go next?
I'll go next. You can go last. I'll go next. Deku for me. I think Deku's
scared, man.
No, Lonnie wants to go last. He probably wants to say something nasty.
Here comes all the.
Bakugo is not a better main character.
Here comes all the Lemillion glaze. That's all that's going to happen.
Well, Mirio's great, so I think he deserves.
I'm not saying he's not
great. When you open your mouth, you're just
there's a reason why he's the number 1 hero. Right?
Mirio is the GOAT.
You're gonna make him probably a 0 anyway, bro. You've been hating on him
since the beginning. I really wasn't.
You hate You hate on Deku the same way you praise for the Hell Arc in Bleach and a reboot of Tokyo Ghoul.
Random. You're good.
That's all you do, bro.
Random. You're gonna convince him to actually.
No, he's gonna. No,
hold
we don't
on.
need.
We
don't need to play the game with them.
Random.
He's gonna rank
Random.
low
Random's
anyway.
trying me right.
If you keep on antagonizing,
now I gotta get a little nasty.
He's gonna rank him low anyway.
I wasn't gonna rank him that low
anyway.
I really wasn't gonna rank him that low.
Randall, give us your ranking, Randall. Give us your ranking.
All right, my rating.
I'm interested in Lonnie's ranking now. I'm trying to see.
5 being average. I do think Deku moved out of the average. I think he is a good MC. So I'm like, the 6 or 7 range is where I'm thinking right now. I'm going personally. I think I'm being honest with myself. The number that's screaming to me is 6. I'm gonna go 6 for Deku personally. I do think. I mean, it's an above average MC, of course. And I think for My Hero Academia, I mean, he was just a really good guy, right? But I do think personally, and we'll probably get into it once we talked about like the main side characters and the side characters. A lot of them did a lot of work for the story of My Hero Academia. I'm just imagining what they, especially for the ending, like I talked about earlier, in terms of kind of pushing the theme of like being together. A lot of those other storylines, I feel like, hit that main idea a little as strong or stronger than what Deku was trying to prove on his own, right? So I do think Deku's a good MC. I think Deku personifies being the really good hero type character. But I mean, I think they're just better MCs out there. So I'm gonna go 6. Lonnie,
I think that's fair.
Before I go on this tangent, Deku was not a bad MC. But Random had to open his mouth, so I had to lower the score a little bit.
How
much do you
want to get
Deku
clipped right now, Lonnie? Is depending on how bad this answer is.
Great MC.
Oh no, I'm giving Deku a 5 out of 10. So yeah, he's an MC. I mean, he's an MC. I mean, he's not the MC of like if you want to say like, oh, in terms of best characters, Bakugo's a better character than Deku. Shoto's a better character than Deku. So it's like, yeah, Todoroki's better. And his story and his whole storyline was a lot more interesting than Deku. So just because I know you appreciate the Sheen Tanjiro, but at the end of the day, guys,
Sheen Tanjiro.
Yeah, the Sheen Tanjiro or the Dollar Tree Tanjiro.
Oh, I just got what he's saying.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This dude is so nasty.
You know,
this is so nasty.
He was solid. He had some great moments, but a crybaby is a crybaby, and I personally just don't like crybabies. I'm not a crier. I'm like, just the fact that he's so sad. I'm sorry. One of his best moments should have been the Dark Deku. That wasn't Dark Deku. That was emo.
He was
Deku.
never Dark Deku though. That's your problem.
Those were the emo kids that were wearing fucking fedoras and playing Pokemon.
People
in the corner of high school. Those were those kids. Okay,
he was never Dark Deku.
That was not Dark Deku. That was emo Deku.
I agree.
Emo Deku. Yeah.
I agree. So why are we judging
yeah,
why he should have been Dark Deku?
5 out of 10. Sheen,
mid.
Fashion Nova Asta was okay.
That's insane.
Was okay.
Fashion
Nova.
Yeah, he had some great moments, but you know, Temu Tanjiro was just he was too much of a little bit of a bitch for me. So you know. Yeah.
That's
gonna be a good clip. That's gonna be a good clip.
That is hilarious.
Random did this.
I don't agree to that.
I was honestly gonna give Deku a 7.
I don't agree to that.
Let's go to the next one. We're wasting our time here.
No, I was saying
you're right, Santo. He wasn't dark. He was just dusty. He just needed a shower.
But the problem is that
it's some damn old spice.
To save the planet. Stop.
You
could say, Santo, can you put 6.8 out of 10? 6.8
is crazy. But I'm gonna say this real quick. Random, don't let him gaslight you. He wanted to give you that rate. He's just using you as a scapegoat.
You're lying, bro. You were gonna give him a 5 anyway. Stop. Let's keep going. Just talk about the antagonist.
Remind me how dusty he was.
We're wasting our time. We're wasting our time.
Was crying all the.
Jesus
All
Christ.
right. Well,
God
Next.
damn it, man. We've been here long enough. We're gonna be here for 3 hours again.
well, for sure. We definitely are.
No,
Let's
that
speed
is
run these a
hilarious.
little bit.
Next main antagonist. Now, do we all agree it's all for one, or do we want to say Shigaraki?
Shigaraki is the main antagonist though.
How about we just do them as a pair? This is too long.
Please.
This
let's
is
just
fair.
do it as a pair.
To me, they're synonymous with how
Let's
they
just do
presented the
pair.
story.
So because instead of us agreeing, just do a pair.
Okay.
As a pair, bro,
They're fire.
9 out of 10 at least. 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll give
I'm
it
gonna
a
go
9 out of
9
10.
as well. For
9 out of 10.
if we're doing the pair, I'm doing 9.
9.
9.
So
Y'all
is
do
that
9?
9 across the board, or anybody higher or lower?
Yeah, I would say I would even give it a 9.5. I ain't gonna lie. Like that all for one last line. I love all.
All right, 9.25. Let's do that.
Sure. All right.
Villains? 9 again. Dobby,
I think My
Twice.
Hero boasts a very excellent crew of villains.
Stain. You got Stain.
Stain,
You got the
Toga,
Nomu. You got
Shigaraki,
Toga, Dobby,
The
Spinner,
villain Dobby.
Nah,
The
my
best
Dobby,
Dobby.
Twice.
They got the worst one I could think of
Overhaul.
is Muscular, and he's just a plot
And,
device.
but even with him as a one-note villain, he did a lot to like re-inspire like Coda and Hero. Like that's what he used Deku for. Deku had one of his most inspiring moments. 9. I got a 9.
What do you call it? What's his name? Kurogiri, a tragic villain.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
A completely
It's
tragic.
Shirakumo.
Oh yeah,
That's
you talking about with
Shirakumo.
Sorry, Shirakumo's his
Aizawa?
actual name, right?
Well,
Yeah, like with Aizawa
technically,
and
yeah.
President
His
Mike's
human-
friend.
his
Yeah, that was
human-
crazy.
Even that doctor was a scumbag.
Dr. Garaki or Uji.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I
That
feel like
that was a great
9
twist.
is justified. My Hero Academia has
Yeah.
a great cast
Really
of
good.
villains.
They got Dobby,
And-
so
Yeah,
really
I'd say 9 is.
The
9
villains
is
were so good they got their own arc.
I really like
Yeah,
Dobby.
facts.
Man.
I think
Dobby.
Horikoshi definitely took a lot of care to make sure that the villains mattered a lot.
Yeah.
So I'd say 9 as
Yeah.
well. Any
9
disagreement? Any higher, lower? We could just all
I'll
go
do
down.
9.
Okay. Main
Overhaul is the
side
best villain.
characters. So
Main side characters. Listen, man. Look, I'm gonna
I
share one
personally,
thing.
just so we're on the same page, I would say this would have to be Bakugo, Todoroki,
Endeavor.
and All Might, and maybe Orochi.
Endeavor.
One of the main side characters. Yeah.
Endeavor.
Yeah, Endeavor.
Why are
Relax.
you not putting his name?
Nobody
Oh,
said no.
you just never said anything. I was like, we gonna forget.
I
about
said
it?
sure. I wasn't thinking Endeavor, but we could put Endeavor.
Yeah, he has to be.
All Might. If
Listen,
All
man,
Might is there, Endeavor's there.
Yeah, I would say All Might, Endeavor, Todoroki,
Ochako.
Bakugo,
Ochako and Bakugo,
Ochako.
yeah.
I would say maybe those 5, maybe. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
And if that's the case, listen, man, y'all got this dude right here, man.
all right, let me.
I'm
In
sorry.
your
Who is that?
cast.
I don't know who that is. That don't look like a real. No, that's not Shoto.
Oh, that's
you got this
Bakugo
dog.
being
When
a
you got
bully.
this dog right here.
Wasn't that like?
Listen, man.
Wasn't that like after he got kidnapped and ruined the career of All Might by retiring him? Because I'm still.
Okay. Oh yeah. Hold on a second.
That's no. I'm asking a question.
I got you.
Trigger.
I'm saying, but didn't he just?
No,
Didn't
I'm
he
sorry, hold on a
just?
second. I
I'm
have a
saying, wasn't
question
he
for you.
just like looking like a
Wait, hold on a
failure?
second. Wait, hold on a second. Wait,
Wasn't that
Wise.
like
Can I ask you a question, Wise?
Yeah,
Why was it his fault?
He wasn't strong enough. He wasn't him. He wasn't that
It
dude.
wasn't him. Oh,
He
you're
just wasn't that
trolling.
dude.
You're just trolling.
No, I'm sorry. That is true.
You're just trolling me.
He got kidnapped. Dobby said, "Come here."
If you're just say
And
that,
he got
if you're just-
kidnapped.
that's not even.
No,
I'm
the
not
reason-
wrong.
You can't tell him that he's trolling, that he's not
no.
wrong.
He even
No,
told.
I'm gonna
No,
take-
I'm
I'm
not
gonna take
trolling. He
Brandon's
even
approach.
told. He even told Deku to not come and save him when he had an opportunity.
Because he had no. Wait. I'm asking a question.
As
Wait,
Dobby was bringing
wait,
him
hold on,
into
tell
the
me, Wise,
forest
I'm asking a question.
taken to
So,
the
wait, I'm
hideout,
asking a question,
he told
Wise.
Deku to not come and save
I
him.
Wait,
feel
Wise.
justified.
No, stop. No, Red, stop. Red, Wise. So you think that Deku successfully saved him with broken arms and legs?
It doesn't matter if you're successful.
Bro,
Hey,
no.
listen.
Answer my question.
Hey.
No, stop.
It
Answer my
wouldn't
question.
have.
No.
It would not
Wise,
have been
Wise,
Bakugo
answer
by
my
himself.
question. Why? No, I
It
want
wouldn't
to
have
answer my
been
question.
Bakugo by himself.
No, Wise. I will wait for
Deku
you
would
to
have
answer.
been there.
Wise,
I feel
I will wait for you
justified.
to
I'm not gonna
answer
hold
my question. You
The
said
story
you
would
told
have
him
been
not to save
different.
him. You told.
Yes.
You said.
Don't say.
You said what?
The story
Yeah,
would have
one of
been
these
the
days,
story.
don't say
The
it,
story would have
bro.
been completely different. They had to divide the plan for
Wait,
Kirishima.
no,
They had to
Wise,
divide the
no,
plan
Wise,
for Kirishima to be
Wise.
the one that saves him because they
Wise,
know that if
you know my
Deku saves
question
him,
is.
he'll feel
Do
so
you know
bad
my
about
question
himself.
is? Do you know what my question is?
What?
I asked you when you said, "Oh, Bakugo told Deku not to come." Would Deku with broken limbs have successfully saved Bakugo?
It doesn't
Deku
matter.
that couldn't walk.
It doesn't matter because you
No,
don't
I
know.
answered my-
It doesn't
I
matter
need you to answer my
because the
question.
only person who
need
was
you
willing
to
to save you,
answer
you're like,
my
nah.
question.
Nah, Ty,
You're
let him
like,
cook. Let him
nah.
cook.
Answer
You're
my
like,
question.
nah. You're
I
like,
don't
nah.
lie. I'm
You're
keep
basically
asking it.
saying,
Rodell,
you're
keep
basically
asking
saying,
the
you're
question.
basically saying that just because
No,
somebody, so
Rodell,
you
I
might
will
not
keep
think somebody
asking this
could
question
possibly save
until you
him,
answer
that he
my
shouldn't be
question.
saved.
But he's saying it doesn't matter. So
No,
It
I
doesn't
didn't
matter.
I didn't ask him it didn't matter or not. Because he said that Bakugo.
Shigaraki
I'm
didn't-
asking him. No, he said
We're
that
not saying
Bakugo.
I don't think he's saying Deku would have been the one to save him though.
No, but no, y'all hear me. He said that Bakugo told Deku not to save him. I said, why is that
Yes.
the case? And I said, why is that the case?
Because he feels like Deku views him as an inferior being. That's why they
No,
created
wait,
this whole.
what?
That's literally why they created the whole plan for Kirishima to be the one to save him instead of Deku.
But no,
That is literally the reason why.
No. I'm asking you, why do you think that Bakugo, if let's say he doesn't say that, and Deku goes to save him, do you think that Deku saves the Bakugo?
That is not the point. It's what I'm saying.
That's what I keep asking you.
That what I'm saying is that is not the point. But you're saying why did Bakugo? No, hold on. If Deku would have come, do you think Bakugo would have allowed himself to be saved by him? But he told him literally just now to not save me. He said, "Don't come."
I don't think.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying.
You're saying why did he get captured? Because he didn't. Even if Deku was to try, the only person who cared enough to try at that moment was Deku. He's like,
that's not. Let me tell you what that's not true. Is because remember when they all assembled around him to keep him safe. Do you remember?
Yes.
That? He cooperated.
And Bakugo, yes, Bakugo did cooperate. But when he actually got captured, the last thing he told Deku, look at the panel, pull up in your phone.
I know.
It's talking about. He said, do not come, specifically to Deku, do not come to save me.
I understand. I understand what you're saying.
Everything before that is null and void.
No, it's not. Because he's one to cooperate with them. That's how it works. Two, you're telling it's his fault. I'm saying
it is his fault.
If Deku goes in to try to save him, he literally does not succeed because his limbs are fucking broken.
And I'm saying if Deku goes and save him, Bakugo still would
and then also All Might
accept that to be saved. He'll feel worse about himself.
He didn't end the story. Hold on a second. He didn't end All Might's career. All Might said his power's gonna run out anyway. He didn't end All Might's career.
Well, he expedited it. What do you mean? If he never gets captured, they never fight against All for One. If he never fight against All for One, he doesn't expend all his powers immediately at that time. That is objectively true. It's not. That is objectively true.
No, but you're saying you're saying that them capturing him is his fault. That's silly. To me, that's silly.
No.
That's silly. That's silly.
If you know that they're if everyone knows that you are the target,
I'm actually this question.
You get captured. And the person that
but they just captured. So they successfully because he cooperated with Todoroki and he cooperated with everyone trying to protect him.
But Deku, the only person who had no limbs, and he was trying to save him, and Baku was like, no.
I think this is where
don't do it.
Right? No, hold on a second. This is where you're just chatting. One, when he was you are. Let me tell you why. When they had that formation around him, he was cooperating, and then he got captured by Compress. Oh crap, we weren't watching Baku. He got captured by Compress. So okay. So then when we get to the when they're actually about to take him, you're saying that now because he was cooperating so far, you agree, right? Up to that point, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And so you're saying they didn't save him was because Deku with broken limbs didn't go through the portal.
I didn't say that they didn't save him for that reason. You asked the question.
You said which part? I'm trying to ask you which part was his fault. I'm asking you which part was his fault.
Slow down. You asked the question, right? The whole point of this was Bakugo was the reason for all of this, right?
No.
In his eyes. That's what I'm saying. And he's the reason for All Might losing. One, he is the reason because if he didn't get captured, the whole situation wouldn't have happened. Bakugo's inability to say, "Hey, I am okay with somebody who I think is inferior to me to save me," is the reason why he was not going to be saved. no matter
Okay,
what.
cool.
That is the main point, which is the reason
Okay,
why
so-
they had to devise an entire plan for Deku to not be the one that actually saves him when they were in Camino. That's the point. If Deku reaches his hand out, he does not get saved. Period.
And
Point
no,
blank.
that's such a bad point. Let me tell you,
It's not. It's the point. It's what happened.
Let me tell you.
It's in the story.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it's a bad point.
Panels, man.
You just said no. I know the pen you're talking about. You have to bring it. I know the pen you're talking about. You talking about when they have him by the neck and he says stay by Deku. I know the fucking pen you're talking about.
Yes.
I know the pen you're talking about. What I am saying is the reason I asked you this is because you're saying that it was his fault that he told Deku to stay back. That singular panel. I'm asking you, let's say for the sake of conversation, he allows Deku to do it. Does Deku save him?
We don't know. That's the point.
The answer is no, nigga. The answer is no.
It's not. Deku has grabbed you by his teeth. Deku has grabbed people by his teeth. He literally has grabbed you by his teeth and held them in the air. How are you with broken limbs at that moment? What are you talking about?
Wait. So I'm asking around the panel.
Give me a second.
Wait, tell me. I'm asking around
the panel.
Give me a second. Do y'all think
that he think?
Wait, hold on. I'm asking the panel. Do y'all think that when they're taking Bakugo into the portal and Deku jumps in with broken limbs, do y'all think that Deku going to the villain's lair saves Bakugo? Any of y'all actually think that?
I don't think that's what Wise's point is that Deku would be the one to save him. What I think what Wise is trying to say is that basically, like the plan to save Bakugo, they had to make a plan around Deku not being the one to save him.
No, that's
that's part of Wise's point.
But the line. I know that point. I'm saying that's irrelevant.
I just think he's just saying
That's my point.
Bro, no, you guys are missing it. I'm talking about the forest scene. The forest scene. He's saying
but he's talking about after the forest scene.
But no, stop. But the problem with that is that he gets saved with that plan, so that's irrelevant. We're talking about when he got captured, the capturing. The scene he's talking about, he's already captured. We're talking about him. He said it's his fault he got captured. We're not talking about the scene where he's already captured and devised a plan. We're talking about the scene that he actually got captured. So bringing up scenes where he's already taken by the villains is irrelevant. He's saying it's his fault he got captured. So let's talk about the capturing, right?
I think he's saying it's his fault that All Might lost his powers that he did. Not that he got captured.
So the problem with this is he said it's his fault he got captured, which led to that. I am saying that if he allows Bakugo, I guess this is the disconnect we have. I'm saying if Deku jumps in a portal, the same events happen. I don't think that anything changes.
Okay. At that point, we just don't know. So at that point, we don't know. That's what I said. The whole story would change.
Time out. So for this to wrap up this debate, so we can finish what we got to do. 1 minute closing for Ty. 1 minute closing for Wise, and then we'll wrap it up.
I get what they're both saying. But I feel like the disconnect.
Let them close it.
I'll let them close.
Go ahead, Wise.
Yes. Okay. So initially, the point was Bakugo, him as a person, his character, right in the story, was used as a device for the downfall of All Might objectively, right? He is the person who, in that fight that you wanted to flex, right? He hated himself because he knew that he was the reason for All Might's retirement. It is the case, right? Early retirement. Because if he doesn't get captured, All Might, if he doesn't get captured, he goes to in Camino. Shigaraki tries to recruit him, right? And All Might doesn't fight All for One, right? None of that happens, and All Might keeps his embers. He stays a symbol of peace, and the whole world does not go into destruction as you see it, right? On that level, right? Before that, that is the case. Before that, his inability to want to be saved by Deku, his inability to want to be saved by Deku is the reason why they had to create a whole plan for him specifically to be saved by Kirishima because he didn't want to get saved by Deku.
Time.
So
it
doesn't matter. So here's the thing.
Go.
Right? Bakugo feeling like it's his fault doesn't mean it's narratively his fault, right? He can he can blame himself. That's in character for him, but doesn't mean that the story's telling that that's his fault. That's why All Might said it's not your fault. Like All Might said. Okay, it's my turn. You only closing statements. I didn't reclaim my time for that. Point number 2. You said.
Yep. Ty, you muted yourself.
Well, am I good now?
Yeah.
Start over. Go.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Okay. So how characters work is that just because he's blaming himself does not mean it's his fault narratively, and that's why even All Might says it's not your fault. Him feeling taking the blame does not mean it's on him fully. Like, we understand that him carrying a burden doesn't mean the burden is all on him. Like, I hope we understand that. Point number 2, you were talking about the act of him getting captured. What I am saying is nothing. You cannot prove that anything changes if Bakugo asks Deku for help in that specific moment when his fucking limb's broken and he jumps to the portal. What would actually change? I don't think that anything changes. I think that the villains still fucking capture him. I don't think Deku with broken limbs is able to save Baku in that moment. He could even walk. So like, he had to get carried. So I don't know how he, in your mind, he's saving Bakugo. I don't think that even happens. So I think the same event's happening. And then blaming Bakugo because the villains captured him, even though he was cooperating with everyone, it's just strange. That is strange to me, because I can even say that Deku felt guilty because they said they weren't watching Bakugo and he got catch back in press. So is that their fault? Like, just because they take on their responsibility? Obviously not. It's the villains. Like, what?
Time. All right. Good debate. We got to move on. I know you want to respond. I know you respond. Hey,
I'm looking at the panel right now.
We'll have you on again, and then you guys can revisit this.
Yes.
But let's move on and wrap this stuff up. Main side characters. If Endeavor, Ochako, Bakugo, Todoroki, and All Might are the main side characters, I could argue this is a 10. I'm not gonna lie. I could argue 10. And
I would say like a 9 because I don't think Ochako's a 10. But everybody else, I can argue.
That's where I'm at too. Ochako, how much is she bringing?
She's great. She's great. She's like an 8, but I wouldn't say she's like,
Yeah, I think she just needed more. Because that conclusion was great. I'm gonna say 9.5 for me.
If everybody else saying 10,
I'm saying 9.
I'm also saying 9.
Wise, what are you saying?
9. Yeah,
9. And then Ty, what'd you say?
You can go 10.
Okay, so we'll make that 9.33. I'll do the real math, but and the rest of the side characters, everybody else, in general,
including villains, or like
no, we already
did like the hero side characters.
Yeah, just general side characters, no villains.
I'll give it like a 7. Like, a lot of them had like some dope moment. Like, they made sure that like almost everyone in Class 1A had some type of significant moment in the story. So I'd give it a 7.
I give it a 6 because I actually think the opposite. I think that certain characters are like, they should have had more of an emphasis, like not like knowing what they do or like knowing that they're doing something, but like actually being able to experience. Like, I think Momo was one of the most underused characters in general. And like, with all respect, like her building like the pallets or the, what they call the land little thing, mining thing for Shigaraki, and I don't think she was not used to the. But I mean, it's a war, so I mean, But some characters, I'd be like, I wish I would have seen more from them, So I'll say like a 6.
I'm actually there with you. I feel like if you're gonna introduce so many characters,
give them
out properly. Like, pick and choose who you want to focus on, because it seemed like there's characters that they want to focus. I mean, obviously we know the main ones, but then there's other ones like they're there, they have their moments, but they don't go beyond that. I mean, the fact that Midnight just died, it was like out of nowhere and wasn't really addressed afterwards, is actually kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Wasted. We found out the villain that killed Midnight, and they didn't even
kill him off.
That they didn't even tackle that the way they should. I'm with Wise. It's not even for the one who should not be named. Like, I think Ingenium and they should have been bigger in the story. But at that point, man, there's so many characters that need time. It's just a shame that they were the ones. Like, even the big three, like Mirio, Sun Eater, and Nejire. I think they probably should have gotten more time. But that's I'm asking a lot, and we know about all the all the stuff going on. So there's only so much you can do.
Mhm.
Okay, so 3 6s. Lonnie Ty, what are you saying?
Whoa.
I give like a 7. I don't think that every character with like I get it. Like some characters have cool powers, you want to see more, but I don't think like coolness or likability necessarily determines how much their story should get, because you can't flesh out everyone in Class 1A. Like that's just a
No,
fact.
I agree, but
And
I'm,
one
I'm,
B.
hold on, hold on.
And, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, for especially with this type of story, like if he's 430 chapters, I think that if it has to tie in most cases tied to the main plot. Like I think that's why Todoroki's story got so much connection, because it has things to deal with All Might's greatest rival, which is why his story needed more than like a lot of people in Class 1A. It's just what it is. I don't expect every story like is this. I mean, you got people. I think people look at like One Piece, for example, and think like, well, they do it differently. But One Piece is longer, 1 and 2. A lot of times, characters get their mini character arc, and that's it. They're just done. But I think more so certain stories where characters you still see them, we are expecting. Okay, I still see you, so you need to be doing even more. That's just not the case to me. I don't need everything from all these other characters. Like who gives a fuck about the tail nigga, bro? Like no one gives a damn about him, bro. Like I'm not gonna sit and pretend.
keeps catching strays for real.
I'm sorry. The was it
keep on bringing him
Oda,
up.
the guy that talks to animals? Like y'all don't want to see more from him. Like that's
No,
okay.
I'm not saying that. No, my big. That's why I only mentioned.
I'm not saying y'all specific. I'm more so speaking in general. People are like, oh, flesh out everyone in Class 1A. Like y'all don't. Like, you don't
No.
I'll say this because to give my rating, I'm gonna give it like
rating.
a 6.5. But it's like, I don't care about the tail nigga. I don't care about the one that can talk to animals. But I did care a lot about Ida in the beginning, the nigga that runs fast. I felt like he kind of like took a big back seat towards like the last few arcs. Like I thought he took a big back seat in the last few arcs. Like he had some nice assist roles, but in terms of like a speaking character, he took a big back seat, which I didn't like that much. Momo, I also thought was going to be used a lot more. I also thought like she had a little thing going on with Todoroki that just stopped like halfway through the story. So I was like, okay, because eventually when I saw it, I thought like maybe like she would be the one that kind of help him get away from that whole Endeavor identity thing, like because sometimes people need like another person that like sees them in a different light. And I thought like, oh, maybe she's gonna be that person that sees them in a different light that takes them out of that mental state, but that never happened. Yeah, there were some like they were good like overall, and like Class 1B was also had some pretty interesting characters too. Not that they needed to be fleshed out either, but yeah, I'll give it a 6.5. I just wish that like Momo and Ida got like more time.
Ida, bro. Oh my god.
I was an Ida stan.
Why is Ida with Shoto in the first place? Like he should in the final arc. He should have not been with Shoto in the first place.
It's kind of crazy how other side characters got more shine than Ida did.
Yeah, like I feel like Ida failed. I feel like not that it failed, but I feel like Ida could have been a much more impactful character in the second half of the story than he was.
You could have done something where him and Stain teamed up to fight All for One.
I would have.
Ida should have been with Deku. Ida should have been with Deku and Shigaraki personally. I think his speed in that small little area would have been a little bit more effective than him not doing anything.
Why? People always sleep on how nasty speedsters.
He is. Ida's underrated, but I just so disappointed.
Like, the reason why the Flash doesn't kill people is because he just doesn't want to.
Yeah, like, at that point, yeah.
Speedsters are nasty, and they just never use the way I think they should be used.
You see that Miracle kit? You see if Ida come with a reciprocal turbo, man.
I did feel like Ida should have had a moment in the
reciprocal turbo.
Yeah, you couldn't have been left to be.
It literally turned him into a glorified messenger and baggage carrier.
He was an Uber, bro. That's all he was.
He was, but I ain't gonna lie. That little scene when Choto made the little ice look. Oh my god, the ice look.
It was cold, but like I wanted him to have it.
All right,
pun intended, I guess.
God, his best moment is what? Is when.
Let's go to the setting. First, the lore / history. I think we all know what this is. I'll start it off. For me, I don't even have a rating right now. I'll be honest, I wanted more out of the lore personally, and it mainly stems from All for One. I feel like we should have gotten more for like the rise of All for One and how everything ended up the way it did. Because I mean, he caused everything to happen the way it is. So from the beginning, since he's like the main one, how the world was back then, why 0 for 1 did what he did. I mean, we kind of get the sense. I think they gave us a little enough to get the idea, but just because we got it, I'm saying I wanted more of it, right? So that's my biggest point here. I think having more of that story from back then to kind of frame the duality of what 0 for 1 wanted back then versus what he wants now, I think would have made the final arc a lot more impactful for me, especially since 0 for 1 came back. I assumed that we were going to get that when he kind of went through all the vestiges and stuff, but we didn't really get that. So for me, I'm going to go the lore. I'm leaning 7 for now. I'm thinking 6.5, but I'm leaning 7. So, who wants to go next?
I'll give it a 6.
Fair.
I'll give it a 7.5, but like I said, My Hero has plenty of spin-off potential. So if you get somebody who's passionate and is willing to write a story, whether or not it's about Prime All Might or All Might or 0 for 1 going through the vestiges, or Jesus Christ, I'd even like, for some reason, I really want to see like a heist movie in the fucking My Hero like world. Just give me some villains just trying to figure it out during the end times. Like remember that one during when 0 for 1 lets all the villains out. Then we followed those two villains for like a chapter. I was like, fuck, like I kind of want to see people try to survive or try to do something in that world. I think that'd be awesome. I've always said that about My Hero.
Okay. Wise, what are you thinking?
Yeah. I'm gonna say 7.5 as well. Actually, I'm gonna say 8 because I think that like impact on lore matters as well. So like what I mean by that is I love the fact that Horikoshi wrote the 0 for 1 versus All Might in such a masterful way that everyone desires more from it. I think like desiring more from it could be a good thing because you don't have to give out everything. I think once you give out too much or whatever, you have more areas where you could mess up. You could kind of make something that's not a good continuity. You know what I'm saying? So unless you like really thoroughly make everything align perfectly, I think that, I think Horikoshi bringing some ambiguity to like the situation, All Might's age kind of being ambiguous, not knowing any of that stuff. So you don't got any timeline mess ups, 0 for 1 kind of having this generalized like little thing, whatever. But I think us wanting to see what all like the backstory of All Might and 0 for 1, I think that not being fleshed out was a perfect thing because it keeps All Might in the discussion of, is he really that dude? And until he has to be he has to be because we don't know exactly what's going on. So I think that to a degree that I'm giving that a buff, right? I'm giving that, and then I think when Hori actually took us to the awful, I don't know if y'all enjoyed it, but those chapters with all one backstory was freaking amazing for me. It was random. It was kind of a different kind of a switch and feel, but those stories were, I mean, that segment, I was like, wow, like this is really interesting. And it gave us more depth to his character and it made everything you can kind of come to better conclusions about 0 for 1 if you decide that you want to. If you don't, then you don't have to. So with that, I'm going to give it an 8 because I think that like us desiring more doesn't necessarily, there's a difference between desiring more and not having any. And I think that we got enough lore. The only thing I wish we had more lore on was like the actual origin of quirks instead of like the theory around it. And I think because Horikoshi just wants to keep it like, he wants to focus on the story. That's not a main factor of it. And I'll accept that. You know what I'm saying? I'll accept that Horikoshi doesn't view where quirks actually came from, like the truth about it, like showing us actually. I'll take that. I'll knock that down. That's the 2 points that I knocked down.
Fair. Ty?
Yeah, I like it around 8. I actually think that not knowing the truth to me, it doesn't really impact it for me, at least at all, because it doesn't really have really much to do with them resolving the main conflict. Like, for example, if I take a One Piece, them finding out directly how they resolve the main conflict, so it's necessary for the audience to know. But for like that, it's not really necessary, which is why for me it wouldn't really impact my ranking. So like I give it like 8. I think the All for One lure is fire. Endeavor lure is fire.
Oh man, Endeavor.
Yeah, I think it's tough.
Okay. I did end up dropping mine to 6.5, and then the final score is 7.2 for the lore and history.
7.2.
So the power system. This type of criteria, this one in particular, is usually only dependent on like if it's like a fighting type series for the most part. But we all like recognize the value of a power system. People can make whole videos about power system, so it definitely matters. What do you think about the power system? Quirks, awakening your quirk, all that stuff.
I give it like a 8.5 to a 9. I think it's perfect for my hero.
Which one?
I go 9 actually. Like
Okay.
I think that what the power system means thematically is fire. Like passing on your will to other people with all for one and one for all is tough. I think each quirk is perfect for everyone's personality. Like I mean, getting people a power that fits their personalities, that's just like characterization that most stories do. But I think my hero does a really good job with it. And I don't really see any other power system working in this story. So that's why I think it's perfect for my hero.
Yeah, I would agree. I'll go to 8.5. I think the power system of My Hero is underrated because of the vast majority of like lackluster possible quirks. Like it's not really something that you would be like, oh, like pew pew. Like this is like something you got to be more technical in order to like be on the top. And as far as power and stuff like that, the blessed people are typically the ones that are here. But I think that the power system connecting with the history and the lore of the story makes the plot better. Like the power system leads the plot because quirks initiated everything. So without quirks, all for one wouldn't be a thing, right? And that wouldn't have created a one for all, which wouldn't have created this crystalline network of, So I would give it an 8.5.
Okay. Random.
I'll give the power system. I'll probably give it an 8 to an 8.5. I mean, I regarded it just kind of like how the X-Men are, because there's not really that much difference. The quirk system itself.
No, the 8 or 8.5.
What really makes me like it is the one for all. Sorry, 8.5. Sorry, 8.5. What really made me like it was. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we good.
Hello?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What really made me like it? Yeah, what really made me like it was just the fact that you could store like one for all and all for one really fascinate me in terms of how they work. And it kind of sucks that Deku was the last person to hold it and the fact that it just became too powerful. But the fact you could store all these different quirks and Deku being able to use like from going from smoke screen to gear shift to all of a sudden you're using black whip. Now you're using float. Now you're using Fajin. There's so many different combinations like a really smart character could do, which really worked out for Deku, which is why like for instance, if Bakugo had that power, would he be able to use it very well? Yeah, but I don't think he'd be as in like what's the right word? I'm not going to say smart. That does not like intuitive with it. And I don't know how he would or versatile, and I think I really like that. And one for all, how does one for all or all for one work exactly? Because he can take people's quirks. Does it do the exact same thing as all for one, or
all for one,
whichever you know what I mean?
Yeah, one
like,
for all.
Are they the exact same?
It just passes on. One for all just passes on. All for one can take and pass on.
Yeah, but it can't pass itself on unless you have like a transplant. So like, which is what the surgery that Shigaraki went through.
Yeah,
he had a copy of his quirk and place it inside. But one for all is you are transferring your quirk to that other person, and you are going to eventually lose access to that quirk entirely. All for one is not. That's why he had to make a copy for himself.
It did make me sad, but eventually, it did make me sad that eventually, like even though Lonnie has repeatedly said that Miracle should have been the one to get the power, it would have killed him.
Oh,
It
Mirio.
would have killed
yeah.
him. It would have killed him very early in his life. Yeah, Mirio. It would have killed him very early in his life because just it's too strong because of all the quirks. It just couldn't handle it anymore. But would Mirio have been nasty for like 6 months? Yeah, and then he would have died because it would have killed him.
I mean, Deku was nasty for 8 and then lost it, so it's not.
The quirk itself would have killed him.
It's not-
True. Lonnie,
It would have
what do you
killed him. So
That'd have been a fire story though.
I give the power system 8.5.
I'd be down.
really
I'd be
enjoyed.
down to read the story like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed the powers, especially like how they coincide with like personalities and everything like that. Dobby's like, even though I don't talk about Dobby a lot, he's still like one of my favorite villains in the new gen. And I thought his powers, especially like how his powers were also like kind of powered by his personality and by like his determination and will a little bit. I really like that. So yeah, I give it an 8.5.
All right. I would give it a 7.5 personally. Co-signing everything that y'all were saying, of course. I just value more like intricate power systems that have a little bit more depth to the abilities. I do think that there's plenty of characters that use it in very interesting ways, like Mirio, for example, and even brings me back to like Vigilantes on how he uses power and how he constantly evolves. If we got more of like characters like that who had terrible quirks but end up being like one of the strongest, I'll probably bump it up. But for the most part, it was like Todoroki. I mean, he was there. You know,
as a kid, there's no way you thought that quirk was gonna be powerful. As a kid, there's no way you thought that quirk was gonna be powerful.
Who? Best Genius?
Genius.
Oh
Best
no,
Genius.
I'm talking about throughout the story. I mean, obviously
okay.
we know people who got powerful but
That's
for
it.
me
Washed?
to see it, is what matters here. Because
Okay,
Bakugo is a genius. He has an OP quirk. Todoroki was born into an OP quirk. Deku got an OP quirk. All for One OP quirk. So I think if I saw that more, I would have rated it super highly. Like people like Mirio, people like the main character for Vigilantes. But overall, it's still good for sure. 7.5 is still a good rating. All right. So the final score, Santo's 8.4. All right, and then we got 3 more, and we're done with rating My Hero. We'll kind of tally up all the ratings to give you a final rating. The world itself, so like the geography, like the actual world of My Hero, and what it's shown. Yeah,
I'm giving that a 9. I think Horikoshi was so consistent with how he wanted to, to do the world. Now, of course, like the entire world is like going out. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like just the things that are within the system of the world and like the government, the hero, what is the Safety Hero Commission or Hero Safety Commission? Like, I love that he was consistent even to the end. Like, Shinso, we're only going to allow him to be here because we had to get this like one order or like had to get pretty much like a waiver for him to be able to like do hero work, because even though this is the final war, he's still kind of abiding by this, by the rules that he's already established in the story. I think one of the best scenes, underrated, is when after they defeated the hero killer Stain, Ida, Deku, and Shoto, and the dog, officer, whatever, the deputy, whatever, was like, hey, like, we gotta give Endeavor the credit, because if we tell people that we're having children sit, do this stuff, I think stuff like that is like, it brings forms of realism to it. So I enjoy the world of My Hero Academia. I'm looking at it from that lens. So I'll give it a 9.
Yeah. I think the world is really good. And I know you're making a point, Mponzu, in the chat about it's our world. I think something important to distinguish is just because it follows our kind of societal like standards in terms of technology and advancement, that doesn't make it like plain by any means, because it's supposed to establish how a modern world would interact with the principles that is taking place in the story, being My Hero Academia, mutants, people with quirks, all that stuff, villains, all that stuff, right? And I think My Hero does a great job. Like the whole hero stuff, it was super interesting and then a main focal point throughout the entirety of the story. They touched upon it. I think they should have done it more in terms of the mutant stuff and the ostracization of that. I do think they should have. I would have been more interesting if they touched upon the other countries a bit more. We saw flashes here and there. Of course, we had movies of people going to America, but I think they could have dove into that more. And even some more like other villain organization, other than the League of Villains. Like we got Overhaul's little mafia, and then we got that organization that Shigaraki went up against in the My Villain Academia arc. Seeing more of that would have been great, but they still had a good amount of that stuff. So I'm gonna go with 7. I think they did a good job in detailing their world of My Hero Academia. I'm gonna go 7. Who's up next?
I can go 8.
8.
I'll
go
be the,
7.
I'd love. Oh, go ahead, Ty. Sorry.
No, that was it. That was it.
I'll be that guy. I love My Hero, the world of My Hero Academia. Give it a 10. I love from the safety commission to how the quirks work to the hero exam, how somebody becomes a hero. There's so many things. Like I said, plenty of spin-off potential. I'd want to see other ones. Like the fact that the Egyptian hero was so pissed he couldn't go and help, and I'm like, motherfucker, like Stars and Stripes left. You can fucking leave too, bro, and go help. But I love if we could spend more time in this world, I would absolutely love it. I can't sing the praises of the world enough.
All right, but final score is 8.2 for the world itself. And then the main theme of My Hero, how did they do with that?
10. I think it's a 10.
Okay. I would give it like I really like the theme.
What it means to be a hero is, and we see how each character, I mean, it all came to the inclusion of, giving a helping hand to other people, but just seeing how everyone came to that conclusion was amazing. So thematically, it's consistent. It's
Okay. Ty says 10. What do y'all think?
I agree with Ty.
2 10s.
10. I'll give it like a 9.
9. I would say 8.5 personally for me. And then Wise gives it a 10 as well. And then Art.
10.
Or Koshi was cooking some of them panels, bro.
Yeah, I think it's a 10.
We'll give it a
The
9.
one where Toga does the blood transfusion for Ochako, and she's basically dying. That shit's heat. Absolute fucking heat.
Theme is 9.5. Santo. So we got 110, 19 random.
I'll say you know what? I'm gonna say a 10. I loved the art of My Hero. So I think the Horikoshi, don't skimp on the art.
What do I think is 10? I think I 10s to me are like Berserk. One Punch Man at times.
Are you talking about when the actual mangaka, like the guy who knows how to draw, does it compared to the creator?
For
One Punch
I
Man?
was just talking about like what I think about in terms of art. I would say 9. I'll go 9. And Wise, if you can hear us, give us your art rating. I'm guessing you're gonna put a 10. That's what I'm guessing. While we wait for that, can you zoom out, Santo, so we can see the full thing? Longest episode yet, but I mean, we had to have a full conversation about My Hero Academia, so I think it's kind of deserved. It's one of the.
Just wait till JJK. We might have to start like an hour early or some shit.
We might have to skip agenda hour. To be honest.
Yeah, skip it.
Yeah, just get right into the meat.
Shit, we can skip news too. Just go straight into JJK, man.
Unless it's proven that I'm right and that there is a part 2, then then agenda hour is just gonna be me laughing at everybody's faces.
Why'd you? I mean, if part 1 ends with Sakuna killing everyone, and there's a part 2. I'm not a JJK fan anymore. That was just I'm like Gege.
If there's a part 2 in general, I'm taking the dub. If there's a part 2 in general,
sure. I would imagine they would have to wrap up this whole storyline in part 1 though. So I mean, if they want to do like a Baruto version where
we
like
talked about that.
It's a whole different plot. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but
yeah, Ty, we've talked about that fan theory where he kills everybody, he goes back to 10 fingers, and the next generation tries again. I'm like, that's. I mean, I guess that's cool, but it would be a really big thing for you to build up all these characters that we've loved.
Yeah,
that we've grown to really respect, and then you just
kill
them all off.
Traumatize everybody, Gege. Do it. Traumatize everybody.
Gege, don't sacrifice your message for these crazy people, man.
Don't
do it. Don't sacrifice the message, man.
Nah. Make your real message pain. Yeah.
Show them that love is not worthless. That's what Sukuna thinks. Love isn't worthless.
Right. Okay. So
someone breaks up with Gege right before the last chapter.
Why? For the art.
I apologize.
No, you're good. For the art, do you give it a 10?
Oh yeah. Easy.
Okay, so all right, I got the final ratings for the main categories. So for the plot, the rating's 8.25. So right next to the plot, you put 8.25 for the plot. And then for the plot, like the very top. Yeah. 8.25. For the characters, 8.14. Setting is 7.9. And then the art is a 9.6. And this is going to culminate to a final rating of, looks like an 8 something.
8.6.
8.6. So we think My Hero.
Dang, my math is crazy.
8.6. W math right there. 8.6 is our final rating for My Hero Academia after everything we did here, which I think overall, obviously we have some disagreements here and there. I think it's a pretty fair rating.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you may say it's too high or too low, but overall, I think considering what My Hero is, I think it's fair. I think
it's too high. That's just me.
Fair enough. So before we end, because I did this, and we're doing this for the Discord, we're going a little bit more, and then we're going to wrap it up. Long episode. Next time, we're skipping agenda hour. Trust. Okay. So this is what I want us to do. Instead of going a huge explanation for each thing that I'm about to say, put thumbs up if you think the hot take is good. Thumbs down if you think it's a terrible hot take. Or just right here, if you've you're neutral, it's all right. Fair enough. Okay. First hot take we have here from our Discord. You guys dropped it in our Discord of your hot takes of My Hero Academia. First one is Santo saying Mineta matters.
Yeah, Mineta absolutely does matter.
He literally does not. Crazy. Mineta could disappear from the story and nothing changes.
Hey, all I know is when they're fighting all for one, all the students pull up. It said "We are here," and that
Kaminari.
Mineta's included in the "we."
He's less important than freaking Mineta.
How?
Because Mineta has more comedic moments. Simple.
True.
Kaminari could literally do everything Mineta does, minus the weird case.
But he doesn't.
No. We can't do that. Because when I say other people could do what Krillin did, you don't like that shit. So
stop comparing
Mineta to Krillin.
Why are we starting this?
all right, yeah.
He keep trying to slander Krillin.
He's been wrong. That you said, if you replace this character with this character, nothing changes. So when I do that,
Krillin is a vital part of Dragon Ball.
That's not what happened.
Nah.
All right, let's
respect Mineta.
I gotta go.
I gotta respect Krillin.
You guys keep on arguing, and Wise has to go.
Fellas, unfortunately, I have to go. I'm getting a phone call. That's why work has been kind of calling me back. I mean, I'm in the military, so
No, we understand.
So I appreciate y'all for having me. This was really fun. 3 hours, 18 minutes of listening to great takes and and other takes. You know what I'm saying?
Looking at you, Ty.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm looking at all y'all.
You know what? Before you go, I will read this out to you. This is Deku in the hospital right after.
Oh my god.
my
You
God.
No, I
gotta
get it.
let it go.
Recently, All Might told me something about how sometimes you reach out, you can't reach out to some people who need saving. So you gotta do our best to save those who we can reach. But I could reach him. All I had to do was save him. My quirk is built for just that. When it turned out just like Aizawa Sensei said it would. And then there's a quote from Aizawa in his head saying, "You're totally useless." After saving just a single person, Deku crying saying, "I couldn't move my body."
Oh my goodness.
And you believe that this
crying
Deku
again.
And you believe that this Deku
running, but
was-
he was
is-
running, but
I
he was
think this is
run- and he
evidence.
was running literally as Bakugo did.
I'm-
All right.
That he can't move his body.
No, we can't go.
He
Real,
can't move his
real.
body.
Why?
You think that this Deku would have saved him?
Crying
Hold
again.
on. Why? Real quick before you go, I'm gonna say one hot take because it involves Todoroki, and just give a
Yes.
thumbs up, thumbs down.
Well, Todoroki's the GOAT. So.
My real hot take: Todoroki has not been a great character since the sports festival. He's carried by Dabi and Endeavor. Without them, he is actually very boring. And this is a hot take by our man Santo.
You can say he's a boring character to you because he's boring because if you're gonna keep it a buck, this man was separate from his entire family his entire life. Like he doesn't know how to make friends. Like that's the whole point of him saying his friends are like we're not gonna go into that. I'm not gonna go because I got this work gotta go.
Yeah, go do your stuff.
Whether you think he's boring or not, you can whatever, but I don't think you can say that he's a bad character. I don't think that you can say his character was bad after the war arc. I think that the way he handled pretty much everything after that has been fantastic. He didn't get enough shine, but still fantastic.
All right, I'm a thumbs down that hot take.
Thumbs that down. That's kind of crazy. I first off, before I leave all three of y'all, I need a thumbs up or thumbs down with that take. I need to know who's my enemy.
I don't believe in taking away. Like,
that's crazy.
Side.
Wait, what? I mean, but to me, it's weird. It's weird. It's like
okay,
saying,
so let's do that for everybody. Let's take away. So Deku, let's take away.
Yeah, take away all for one.
Yeah, like, you can't really do that, right?
If I take away Deku's
Deku's carried by one for all. Like what the heck?
If you take away Deku's all for one storyline, he's boring. Then like that's weird. Right?
Yeah, if you take away,
so Guts, we're gonna take away Griffith and Costa.
Yeah, take away his.
Nah, you're wild now. Now you doing too
much.
No,
but seriously, if you take,
they said Dabi and Endeavor, who's basically the center of Shoto's like story. So
yeah,
matter of fact, Endeavor.
You take away the Todoroki completely, and he's nothing.
If you take out Deku for Bakugo, then what is he? Like,
he's trash, right?
If you take out Deku for Bakugo,
yeah.
Let's have a black.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
He doesn't have any form of development or anything like he doesn't have a superiority complex.
Well, he's dead on the street, and All Might has PTSD if Deku's not there.
Oh yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. If you take away All Might from Endeavor, we don't get a story. We don't get a Todoroki plotline.
So if you take All Might from My Hero Academia,
let's just take away everyone's most important plot thread and then say
for real. Take away all for one from Shigaraki. He literally doesn't exist. All right. I appreciate y'all. All love. Hopefully I can come back again. I'll be in the Discord, chatting it up with y'all. This was fun, especially about sports, because I know y'all talk about sports. So, y'all be easy, blessed, and wish nothing but peace and blessings to y'all. And I'll see y'all later. Y'all
take it easy, man.
Got a big dog.
Blessed.
Wise was spitting with his Todoroki takes. He also thinks that Patrick Mahomes is him and Luke is him. So he has great takes. I don't know what to tell you. He has great takes. But that said, a couple more hot takes. Bakugo should have been the MC by Prodigy from our Discord.
It wouldn't hit the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no. He should have.
And it's not even trying to hate on Bakugo. Like I'm sure.
I agree. And then would Deku be Bakugo's Dude Arachnus?
It doesn't.
That sounds
horrible. That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
So Ty Lonnie dumps out.
Because if Bakugo's the MC, why does Deku need to be in the story at all?
Now here's the thing: if you have to, but the problem with this is that you would have to fundamentally change who Bakugo is for him to. You just have to change who he is now. Unless the only way this could work is if All Might. Can you remember All Might does recognize there's a piece of Deku and Bakugo that are great heroes. Now, if he saw the winning side and acknowledged that and said, "I'm gonna give you this credit because you're a winner," because like All Might does value that. He said that's just as important. But it would be kind of strange in how I don't know how that would work, but
because right now it seems like Bakugo gets he gets rewarded by having the strong. Even though I think the race against time now that Bakugo has one for all, and we know how the quirk is going to affect the body would be interesting. It's just the fact that Deku's a footnote. He's just a kid that Bakugo bullied in middle school. Like, would it make sense if somehow, despite all the odds, Deku still makes it to UA? Maybe he's a support core student because of how he just knows how to heroes quirks work and anything like that. But he's such a complete footnote at that point. I don't think it works with Bakugo having the thing.
I agree. All right, next one. Kirishima is the most underrated character in the show.
Disagree.
Underrated? I mean,
Most underrated.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't.
No, I disagree.
Who are the underrated
more on
characters?
the side.
Who are the underrated characters for me to compare? I don't know.
Yeah, Lonnie, what do you think? Okay.
I mean, good thing he's selling action figures and the kids love him.
True.
At the end of the story. How about that? You making money at least.
Deku wasn't a bad MC, and the crying was justified.
He's a crier. Yeah. He's a crier. You met criers before.
Sometimes he's crying. It's like a gag. So I don't even take. I don't think those are meant to be taken seriously. Like when Uraraka's like, "You can join our team for the festival round." He's crying. I don't think it's like he shouldn't be crying. It's like it's obviously a gag. So I don't.
What was the
I
one
just
when
don't like criers? So
when he saw his mom,
it's justified.
It's justified. When he saw his mom, and then they both cried. Their tears like flooded out of the apartment. It's a gag. Like
too much, man. He's crying.
I mean, justified as far as like it characterizing him is what I'm saying. Like it's justified. Like I'm saying, justified is that it's necessary to characterize him. Is I guess a better way to put it. Now,
the wimpy kid who cries a lot. Yeah.
For me, he cries too much. So,
look at his start compared to all the other characters.
Well, damn, what his start is? Why are you crying? I don't see Guts crying every. Look at Guts' start. You don't see him crying every goddamn chapter.
You don't. First of all,
wait. Gus wants to cry a lot.
Gus literally wants to cry.
But he's not crying every day.
He's not crying every chapter.
He's cried multiple times. You read the story.
As much as Deku.
All right.
Gag.
I don't give a damn. I don't like crying characters. Like stop crying all the damn time.
Let's keep going. The villains of the story were more interesting and overall better than the heroes. This is by Sauce of Villain. Overall,
I think Deku. If we take like the top 6 villains and top 6 heroes, because we got
heroes would win.
Bakugo, fire. Endeavor, fire. All Might, fire. I think Hawks is fire. You can go Todoroki. I didn't say Todoroki. Todoroki, fire. I feel like that's you can like I think like that's like a good.
If you're doing the top of both, I agree. I agree that the top of the heroes are better. But if we're talking about overall, I think the villains are better.
I think I would agree with that. I think they're slight edge. The villains get a slight edge.
Wait, I guess after the top 5 villains, what villains would y'all like? First, so after one for all Shiki, Dab twice. That's 5. And then you probably could say Stain,
Spinner,
Overhaul.
I didn't hear some of the people you said, to be honest.
No, I said
Shiggy.
Shigaraki all for 1, Dabi, Toga twice. The 6th Stain or Spinner.
Stain is good. Overhaul. I think Spinner's good.
I guess I'm just taking like we agreed on the top 6 the heroes might got us. I'm taking those 6 out. So after those 6, you would have Spinner, Overhaul, Spinner, Overhaul, Redestro, Spinner, Overhaul, Redestro. And you can go Compress. I think the heroes still got it.
The Doctor. You would go Doctor.
I really still think the heroes got it. I can name a 5 I can compete with.
Where are you putting Lady Nagant, Ty?
I mean, we consider her a villain. Like, I mean, she's cool, but I don't know if I'm putting her over like Uraraka. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, yeah,
I'm not putting.
We also got the
I just feel like
big monster thing. I forget what it's called.
Gigantomachia?
Yeah. What else?
I guess I'm thinking for heroes, you can throw in Lemillion. I could throw Kirishima. I could throw Uraraka. I could throw an Ida.
Well,
I still
Araka's like part of the top 6, right?
No, she wasn't.
Oh,
I
So,
think there's a certain number of heroes and there's a hard drop off. I think the villains. I think the villains have a longer line before their drop off. Is what I think I'm saying. Because
but I think, but
because of how Ida's using
I
the
think
story,
I
I'd like
I-
Spinner more than Ida.
yeah, and I'm also looking at like how all these villains, not only individually, but like how they kind of corresponded as a collective as well, because the story was heavily pushed by the people we were talking about. But I feel like all the villains in the My Hero Academia story kind of intertwined extremely well into their stories, and as individuals, they made a lot of the characters kind of react to like what their stories were. Other
yeah,
than
Aizawa too. Aizawa. I didn't mention Aizawa.
yeah. So I'm gonna still go villains. I think overall what they did, what they provided for the story, was also fantastic. Versus
I'm taking muscular over a half of Class 1A.
yeah. Yeah,
I'm taking Uraraka over most of the villains. I can you still, you know what I'm saying? Like
The only reason I'm saying because I'm still talking about that drop off. Like,
but I don't feel like there's a more of a drop off, more to say, because there's just more characters, like more heroes. So I think if you go top 10 to top 10, I think the heroes got it. And then there's just not that many villains after that.
But I'm not really
Bunch of
going
heroes.
1-to-1.
You think like relative to the amount?
Relative to the amount, also what they mean for the story. Also touching to my point, and like I feel like the villains' individual stories are much more enticing and appealing, and it makes a lot of the characters react to those stories in general. And a lot of the heroes, just like we've talked about, just don't get fleshed out. Their story doesn't get fleshed out. I mean, if it wasn't for Spinner, like who's Shoji? Like Shoji finally gets a moment because he's finally dealing with what Spinner has been talking about for so long. So that's where I'm coming from in terms of the villains, because I think the My Hero Academia villains are done extremely well as a collective. Versus My Hero, I do think it's top heavy for My Hero for sure. But all right, let's move on from that one. Overhaul is the best villain in the series. I'll disagree. Yeah,
No.
that's from Textonics. I don't know about that one, my boy. And the last one from MTE Papa, 4 out of 10. Deku didn't fully master One for All and continue to become the #1 hero on his own, like main MCs. He lost the powers forever and couldn't continue to fully live his dreams by being in the field, saving until he gets an Iron Man suit.
but he lived his.
Wait, can you say that again?
He said he did
All right.
master One for All. He literally got all the quirks.
Wait, hold on a
to
second,
work.
right?
So Deku, I'm guessing this is Deku or the story in general. I don't know what the 4 out of 10 is supposed to represent, but this is what he says. Deku didn't fully master One for All and continue to become the #1 hero on his own, like main MCs. He lost the powers forever and couldn't continue to fully live his dreams by being in the field, saving until he gets an Iron Man suit at the end of the story.
Wait, random.
So
Because
what-
I'm
so
pretty
what's
sure
his-
the
so what's his
episode that
point?
we watched, I'm pretty sure the episode they said that he can use 100%.
Yeah, he clear. First of all, he has a better mastery of One for All than All Might does.
Also, I guess my question is, what's his point? Like, he just said that he lost his powers, and like,
He's
what's
basically
what's
just
like,
saying
what's-
Deku's trash.
He
That's what-
said my hero's not as that good because of all the things he said is basically his point.
You know what's so funny is that people moan and cry about, oh, we're tired of things being the same, and then we get some difference. Like, why isn't it the same as everything else? I find it hilarious.
His first point, he's wrong. Deku completely mastered the power, even better than literally every other vestige that had it. He mastered it. He didn't get to use. He literally lived his dream. He's the greatest hero. Like it'll be 100 years
Part
from
of the
now.
greatest.
Okay, it was one of them, sure, but it'll be 100 years from now. They'll still talk about that one. If Deku never got the Iron Man suit, they'll still talk about that 1 year. Deku, I don't know, saved the fucking world. That's what he did. And I'm sorry that he's not like
Technically, he
Naruto
saved
being
Japan.
Hokage or blah blah
Technically,
blah.
he saved Japan. He didn't save the world.
You think
Oh, he
Shigaraki
did.
would have just
Nah,
stopped?
That's
He saved
that's speculation. That's
That's
speculation.
nasty. Lonnie's being nasty. Don't let
Now
him-
he's just being
don't let him-
nasty, but he saved the planet.
Also the truth.
He saved the planet, and then he did get to live out his dream. I'm sorry it wasn't long enough that you were satisfied, but he did. And then there's a reason why. If he didn't live such a big mark, there was a reason why Class 1-8 went and got the suit for him. There's a reason why.
I'm sorry the ending sucked, guys. Funny. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. My final question for everyone. You guys can give a quick answer, and then we'll finally finish our My Hero Academia talk. Long episode, of course, because we got to talk about everything My Hero. As of right now, after everything that has happened, where does My Hero Academia rank for you all time on your own personal list?
I don't know where it ranks all time, but I do have it pretty high though. I think it passed up a lot of series.
Give a general idea.
If I'm talking,
I would say it's in the top like 20 for sure.
I'm right there, top 20, top 25. Like you guys already know I watch a lot of slice of life stuff that I would put over it, but it's a great story still.
Okay.
Because I read so much manga, I would say top 30, top 35. Yeah, that seems about right. It's a solid story. Like I give it like a 7.5 out of 10. But I also read a lot of seinen that I think are better, and like slices of life too and stuff like that. So like it's objectively a good story. Like I would recommend it to people, especially if they're trying to get into manga and anime. I definitely would recommend. My Hero's always the ones I recommend, but there are just things that I think are better than it. So
okay, fair enough.
Say top 30, 35.
Yeah, I'd probably be on the safe side. Say it's like top 40. I don't really have a solid placing for it at the moment, but I do think it's solid. I just didn't think others are above it for me as of right now. Like I like Hitman Reborn more, D Grayman more, Magi more, Fire Force.
Now you're pushing me to top 40. Top 40.
Soul Eater more. Now it can be better than Black Clover, depending on how badly Black Clover fumbles the rest of the story. So we'll see. But My Hero
has a chance. Black Clover has a chance to redeem itself and be better than My Hero. It really does.
It does. And who knows if JJK fumbles the ending, it could be better than JJK. So we'll see. We'll see.
That's such an odd number. Why 5?
5 more.
Why did you? 5 is. If they said they got 10 chapters, all right, bet. I'm fine with that. But 5 seems too short.
8. If they said 8, I would have been like, okay, 5.
Yeah, that's tough. But appreciate everybody who stopped by. This is a long episode, obviously going past midnight. We won't be doing this often. I'm being very clear. But like I said, we had a lot of My Hero Academia talk to do for today's episode. So these more full analysis episodes will probably be happening after our manga is finished. So expect one for Jujutsu Kaisen when it finishes in like 5 more chapters. So that will be another long episode. So with that said, appreciate everybody who stopped by. Like the stream. Let us know what you guys think about My Hero. What does it rank all time? What is your rating for My Hero? And your thoughts about it on all the different criteria we mentioned in today's episode. So appreciate all of y'all. Join the members at our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 10K. Y'all have a good one. Take care and peace.